Hello, everybody. Hello. I am Trooper SJP, and this is the Academic Patrol. How are y'all doing? What's going on? What's new? What's exciting? What's happening? What's the word? I hear that bird is the word. Also, hello, Michelle Baker. Welcome in to our stream. Hello, first-time viewer. Hope you're having a lovely time. Today is PS4 Saturday, where I'm playing the PS4 games. And today, like every like the last 2 years worth of Saturdays. We are playing the Outer Worlds, but we are very close to being done with it. I feel like we're going to finish the DLC for Gorgon today. These are my feelings. I feel like Gorgon is going to be done today. I may be wrong, because I have been for the last couple of weeks, but I feel like it's going to happen. Let's go! Hey, chilling thing about things. How are you doing? Jessica FRM, I am doing very, very well. Hello, Kitchen Bratlin. Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. Oh, yay, everybody. I do not believe we're going to finish Gorgon today. I might, though. I feel like, look, unless there's surprises, okay, there might be surprises, and then I won't finish it today. But I might finish it today, and if I do, it will be because we just have to go and, like, kill a bunch of marauders to go and meet this woman's mom, and then have a chat with the mom and convince the mom and daughter to, hang out together and be friends. And by be friends, I mean, I don't know. I hope they don't rebuild Adrena Time, because that would be really awful. You know what I mean? That would be terrible. I would not like it. I would be sad. Oh! Artie Snack has to do some campaign prep tonight. What campaign are you playing, Artie Snack? And you should tell us about it. Yes. Let's see. Hey, it's good. It's good to see everybody. It's good to see everybody. So look, here's what's what. Today's what, the 8th? So Thursday was Balrog's birthday. And also, it was also Lone Pooh's birthday, not like around the exact same time. So both Lone Pooh and Balrog have had birthdays. You have to rewatch last month's Road to Aurelia. Mm-hmm. And okay, there's probably gonna be some, right? So here's the thing about these birthdays. So I'm gonna play a song for them for their birthday. This is a song that I have not played in a very long time, and I just was very madly trying to go and remember the timing of it, because the timing is pretty weird for this particular song. And I was like, oh yeah, do I remember the timing? Ooh. And also, do you remember how to sing this song? Also, is my voice warmed up? All the answers to all these questions are no. So I am not. Ooh, Kitchen Bratlin's doing camping prep. Same here, lots of studies to do and dinner. Oh, yeah. By the way, once I'm done with this stream, I'm gonna take my bike ride, because I'm doing this virtual bike ride to along the Hadrian's Wall, right in England. It's like a 90 to go from the east coast of England to the west coast of England along Hadrian's Wall is 90 miles, and I'm doing a virtual thing where it's like it's called Conqueror Challenge, and here, I can show you. Oh, I can't believe it. Okay. All right, so called Conqueror Challenge, and they're the ones that do the Lord of the Rings one, if you know it. But what happens is, back, zoom out. Ooh, not like that. Oh, hold on. Okay. Okay. Well, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. I don't know if this will be like really viewable for you. Oh. So this is a map of England. Ugh, not so great. I'm just trying to get it not to be so like. Okay, so So that's a map of England. If you see the little SP, that's me, Trooper SJP, and that's where I'm currently at. I started off on the. I'm so sorry that it's not like. I want it to. Anyway, this is the percentage of the ride that I've done so far. I'm in my 60s, and this is how many days I have left, because I've given myself 6 weeks. Even though I didn't think it would take me 6 weeks, I think I would be done much faster, which I will be. And it takes you along the route, and what's cool about it is, see, come on, where I'm at. Hold on. You can press this little button, maybe. I'm so sorry you can't see this as well. You can press this little button, right? And it'll show you where on the map you are. So like as you're riding along, you can see what you're like virtually, where you're at, and they'll send you postcards. Uh, Not all the routes have postcards, but certain routes will have little postcards. They'll send you little virtual postcards to let you know how you're doing, where you're at. Like, be like, oh, look, this, today we crossed this one part of the wall, and that's a little postcard. Also, they'll plant. You get to choose between having them plant 5 trees or get 50 plastic bottles out of the ocean. So every 20%, like every 1/5 of your journey, they will either plant a tree or get 10 plastic bottles out of the ocean for you. They send a little message saying, I just finished my 60%, so they just planted my 3rd tree because I'm doing trees for this one because that feels good. And I'll do plastic for the next one. Anyway, so I've been doing that, and so after our stream today, I'm going to go and do my bike ride, do like 12 miles, and then I'm going to go and probably I will set up this microphone, not this one, the one that I'm using, but this other microphone. I'm going to set it up because it's been plugged in, and it was one of my gifts to myself for getting a whole bunch of followers, and I'm going to plug it in so that I hopefully for Sunday I'll have this new mic set up, but then also maybe I'll just set up my new synthesizer. I mean, I've got grading to do, and I've got class prep to do, and I've got stream prep to do, but oh, what if I turn the brightness down? Asks ESP.
We're in the money.
Yeah, Valtia is through the Conqueror. Yes, it is. It's a very cool place to visit and hike. Ooh. Hey, Atomica, how are you? You have a meeting with the college counselor on the 17th? Woo! Yes! That's awesome. Actually, that's a good point about turning the brightness. Wonder if that would make a difference. Let's just see. Hey, you know what? Turning the brightness down is pretty decent. I mean, you're still getting reflections, but and that's right there. You can see. Oh, and I can turn around. And I can, it's like the little Google Map thing. I can see where I'm at. Like that's the road that I'm currently traveling on. And there's a little bit of you can't see, but Hadrian's Wall is a little bit over there, right? Very exciting. And like it's really neat. And this one's 90 miles. They've got shorter ones, and you can either walk or bicycle ride or run or whatever it is that gives you joy in the thing. Ooh. Oh yes, drop the link. Hadrian's Wall. Yeah, and it's 90 miles. Yes, Ice Bunny, what is your question? Atomica just gave 100 bits in honor of having a meeting with a college counselor, which I'm very excited about because I don't know if you all know this, but Atomica has been working really hard to get into the college programs he wants. I'm really excited for this to happen. And also you're a regular now, Jessica, so you can drop links, whenever you want. But in honor of those bits that Atomica has donated, that has tipped, because Atomica's having a good day, I'm going to be singing okay, the wall as in the place itself, not the roll and no, the actual wall. So I've been working on it since pre-COVID, but that slowed things. Yeah. Have you tried the Air Highway, Nullarbor Street? It's a 90 miles long road with rich and ever-changing scenery. Oh, I haven't done that one, and I'm sure it's in there. And if it's in there, I will do that one next. Wait, let me write it down so I don't forget it. Why? Highway. Oh, I don't know if I told you this. Also, if you, this is my first time doing one, because I thought, look, I would like to continue bike riding until it starts snowing, Massachusetts, and because once it starts snowing, I'm gonna have to stop. But until then, I'd like to continue riding and try to, do as best I can. And with this program, not only do they plant trees for you and show you where you're all on the route and give you the whole thing, but also at the end they send you a little medal like a medal for finishing the race, and each medal is sort of themed to which route you took. And so, if there is an Australian, if there's an air highway one, I definitely want to take it because that seems like it'd be really cool. Um, yes. Ah. Do you in America have to deal with politicians plastering the landscape with posters of their faces in election time? Or they're just so ugly. Um, we usually get ads more than anything. We're just like a little bit different than y'all because we never stop campaigning necessarily. Like I know that when I was in Germany, they had rules about like you were not allowed to campaign before. I'm making up the numbers. I do not remember the numbers. I cannot tell you what they are, but this is just an example. It's not the numbers are not right. Like you could not start campaigning 6 months. You could only start campaigning 6 months before the election date. You had to stop campaigning 1 month before the election date or 1 week before the election date. Right? There's like a only a time period when you were allowed to campaign. And that is not the case here. We have no rules about that. You can just campaign all year round if you want to, and I think Congress people often need to. Generally speaking, when I think about advertisement for politicians, it's pretty like regular. It's like you have year round. Um, I see maybe not so much posters, although sometimes you will. It depends. It depends on the politician. But lawn signs, like you often see lawn signs. People would like put signs up on their lawn. You'd have a lot of that. Or they take those lawn signs and put them in the window of their house. So a lot of individual people will do a lot of that. Lots and lots of TV advertisement, a lot of advertisement on Twitter and Facebook, a lot of digital advertisement, a lot of lawn signs, a lot of TV ads, uh, phone calls. I mean, nice billboards. Yeah, yeah. But like little individual posters, I don't see a lot of that. I remember seeing that quite a bit of those for Obama, but I don't think that was done by the Obama campaign. I think that like those kind of the Banksy ones. I think those were kind of done by other people. Um, so like individual little posters, I don't recall seeing a lot of those. I see a lot of sort of alternate other sorts of advertising. Does the USA allow granny farming? A lot of text messages. Yeah, Valtiel, absolutely. What is Bolus? What is granny farming? Is that when you take like seeds, put them in the ground and up grows up a grandmother? Is that what happens? Um yeah, Vulpus has a lot of like signs with their names. Absolutely. We don't have a set. Yeah, we just don't have a set election. So if you move back to SoCal, you could bike through the year. I know, but I don't just get to move to places. There has to be a job, and academic jobs. Do you know what I mean? Academic jobs are few and far between. Few and far between. America is also very obsessed with lawns. That is true. Um, I was thinking that you have to deal with campaign for years. That must be so bad having to deal with this ugly for more than 3 weeks. Oh no, we just all year round, basically. It's look whether or not it depends on the office. Congress people are those are 2 year terms, and so they tend to be campaigning year round. And then senators every 6 years, so that's not as often. Um, and then president is every 2 years. So there's kind of like a 2 year. I mean, like something's happening all the time, basically, right? Um, yes. Uh, Since I don't have any on my blood left anymore, I wish. I wish. You also have to take down the posters a certain time after the election, or the party gets fined. Oh, I didn't know that, Schmelzer. Schmelzer, tell you something. And there are rules where you can put posters so they don't, for example, obstruct the view of traffic. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, we have a lot of. Sometimes we'll have faces, but we usually have a lot of names, like especially for like local offices, and they tend to be lawn signs. Things like last name, good for the county, or whatever. Just names. Um, I would guess a bunch of old people from retirement homes and tell them, oh, Atomic is guessing. That makes sense. Guessing, busing a bunch of old people from retirement homes and tell them who to vote for. Huh? Rissa says, I've just started watching Doors to Darkness from a few years ago, and Lindy makes an adorable granny. Oh my gosh, Rissa, Lindy, isn't her cosplay amazing as that granny character? Amazing. Also, she was in a really cool podcast that only did one season and really wanted the second season. Greg was in it too. Very good. Um, very good. Yeah. Uh, so it's a form of voting fraud, says Volus, in which pre-marked absentee ballots are taken to nursing homes to be used and mailed by residents. Oh, I see. Yeah, that would be voter fraud. Yeah. Uh, but it's true, and Volpus is correct. We actually don't have a lot of voter fraud in the United States. Um, we don't have a lot of voter fraud. Um, and they do not really clean up after they lost the election. If we could decorate the posters, but no, you get in trouble if you make it prettier. Well, the thing is, a lot of like we do a lot of our advertising is done by people, not the party. I mean, they do advertising too, but like all of our signs, like all those lawn signs, those are put up by people in their front lawn or in their window, and you could dress up the poster ever you want because it's your poster. Like people, we kind of get sporty about it. You know what I mean? We're very like like people have like their sign for their favorite soccer team or whatever, football team. It's kind of like that. That like I'll go down and I'll pick up a lawn sign for the candidates that I like, and I'll put those. I don't have a lawn, and I'll put them in my lawn. And if I wanted to make them prettier, I could because they're my signs. You know what I mean? You can do whatever you want. I've noticed in the local TV ads, the Republicans are very cagey, not putting their party on the ad. Oh, interesting. But they use a lot of red and the fonts in the ads. Oh, yeah, yeah. I put the request in for my absentee ballot last week. Hope it arrives soon. And absentee ballots are not blank to be filled in like that. They are still printed and sent out from the state election board. Yeah. Device says, I wonder how common voter fraud is in general, like worldwide. Oh, that's a good question. I kind of feel with no basis that if you have the influence to do wide-scale voter fraud, you have it easier, a better way. My understanding is that there are, there are places that certainly had voter fraud, usually dictatorships, but their kind of voter fraud, my understanding is just having people with guns at the ballot box watching you vote. But you tend to know that those places have kind of rigged elections because the party in power wins with 90% of the vote. And you're like, well, okay. You know what I mean? Yeah, Republicans are conservative and they're red, and Democrats are the left party and they're blue. Although those colors were flipped before Reagan. Before Reagan, I think they had them flipped for a while, or they were just random colors. It wasn't until Reagan that we sort of solidified in the U.S. red for conservatives and red for Republicans and blue for Democrats. Mm-hmm. But it was different. It was flipped. The the before Reagan, and I think it has to do with the idea that like red is aggressive and masculine, and they're like good at they like defense. Sure. Anyway, I'm gonna sing "We're in the Money" for Atomica. I'm gonna sing it in Pig Latin, which is the way that Ginger Rogers sang it in the film Gold Diggers, 1933. Irwin, hey, the anime. Irwin, hey, the anime. Iwayat yelayat wayat wakes to utit yelayang wayo. Irwin, hey, the anime. Either ice skates are on, he say. Old man, the 80 and pray, we are a wooder, you are still my young rayo. Iwa ebony, eat red lansley, of red bransley, day. And we see the only overlook left the eye, you're in the eye, we're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. Yay! Yay! I think the red is for blood and guns. Also, I feel like right now, do I have the PS4 streaming to you? I don't think I do. Good. Good. So here's the other way around. Red are left and blue are conservative. Where's I want the other colors. I want the other colors. I mean, yeah, I guess the thought of voter fraud in narrower terms, it wouldn't include coercion or other kinds. Yeah, right? So can I feel like that's a little bit different? Ice Bunny, you just kind of like roll with it. Okay, so I'm going to sing a song and then we're going to play the Outer Worlds. And again, I am not ready to sing this song because I do not think I remember how to play it. And I don't think that I'm in practice for it. And I don't think it'll work out. So, this is a song. So, it's Balrog's birthday. Hey, Krellin, welcome in. So, it's Balrog's birthday. It was 2 days ago, and also Lone Ku's birthday. And I wanted to sing this song. And this is a song that like I really, really like. It's a song. It's a German song. It's in German, and I really like it. And I don't know why. When I hear this song, I think about Balrog. It doesn't make a lot of sense, I suppose, to other people. But this is sort of like a, I don't know. I kind of can imagine Balrog standing like on a small outcropping of rocks, like standing, and she's standing there boldly, sort of uh, like a eyes up in the sky, you know, and like people behind her that she's rallied around. I just feel like there's something she can be kind of inspired. So, well, in Germany, conservatism is represented by black. That's true. That's true. Yeah. So this is called It is not the German birthday song. You're looking for a fjord. Yeah. Like I see you're looking for a fjord and like inspiring people and so this is the song it's by a band called Bots and it's called Sieben Tage lang, and it's kind of like a drinking union song, sort of. It's like a union song, drinking song, like a gather the people together sort of a song. And I just feel like this just feels like a song for Balrog to me. And so this is in honor of Balrog and Lone Ku's birthday, but also please remember, I am out of practice. And I did not get to practice this before today's stream. I practiced like for 2 minutes. So there you go. Also, I don't know what speed I want to take this at. We're just going to find out. Was wollen wir trinken? I want to do this slower. Was wollen wir trinken? 7 Tage lang. Was wollen wir trinken? So ein Durst. Was wollen wir trinken? 7 Tage lang. Was wollen wir trinken? So ein Durst. Es wird genug für alle sein. Wir trinken zusammen. Roll das Fass mal rein. Wir trinken zusammen. Nicht allein. Es wird genug für alle sein. Wir trinken zusammen. Roll das Fass mal rein. Wir trinken zusammen. Nicht allein. It's been a while. Oh yeah, I got a new tag for today's stream. Tangential conversation. Dann wollen wir schaffen, 7 Tage lang, dann wollen wir schaffen, komm fass an. Dann wollen wir schaffen, 7 Tage lang, dann wollen wir schaffen, komm fass an. Und es wird keine Plackerei, wir schaffen zusammen, 7 Tage lang, wir schaffen zusammen, nicht allein. Und es wird keine Plackerei, wir schaffen zusammen, 7 Tage lang, wir schaffen zusammen, nicht allein. Jetzt müssen wir streiken, keiner weiß wie lang, jetzt für ein Leben ohne Zwang. Jetzt müssen wir streiken, keiner weiß wie lang, ja für ein Leben ohne Zwang. Dann kriegt der Frust uns nicht mehr klein, wir halten zusammen, keine kämpft allein, wir halten zusammen, nicht allein. Dann kriegt der Frust uns nicht mehr klein. Wir hatten zusammen, keiner kämpft allein, wir gehen zusammen, nicht allein. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 that I know. Switching chairs. That is for Balrog and also Lone. For the birthdays, just put my banjo down in its case so that it's safe. And then, whoop, switching chairs. Wait, whoop, chair switching. Whoop. Okay. I'm back. I've got my ears in. Anyway, that's a song I have not thought about in a long time. But when I heard it was Balrog's birthday, I was like, oh, I have to play that song. Because that song reminds me of Balrog. And so that is for Balrog, and also it's Lonka's birthday too. So both of y'all. And that's it. That is Was wollen wir trinken? 7 Tage lang, the Dubliners had 7 drunken nights. Oh, I didn't know that. Did they really? What should we drink? Or something like that. It is, yeah. What are we gonna drink? Wasn't that song basically Scooter's how music is the fish? Do I want the clip? I'm gonna sing it again. By the way, I did not get tired in this part of my thumb, so I feel like I'm clearly building back up some endurance on my thumb in my hands. So now I'm just gonna keep practicing. I'll play it again another time. I've got to get my practice on so that I can get fluidity back and just, you know what I mean? Don't worry about it. It's gonna come back, and it'll be less embarrassing. The song itself is like, what are we gonna drink? It's for 7 days. Was wollen wir trinken? Was wollen wir trinken? I should also probably transpose it. I'll work on that. What are we gonna drink 7 days, 7 long days? What are we gonna drink? What a thirst. There'll be enough for everyone. Es wird genug für alle sein. We'll drink together. No one drinks alone. We'll drink together.
We're in the money.
Is that right? Hold on. Let me think. Also, I clearly need to transpose that song. I'm going to transpose it and I'll play it again. I just have to figure out what I'm going to transpose it into, like what key, because that's always like a thing. But let me think. Hold on. For those who do not speak German, it would be. Let me see if I can find my lyrics again. What shall we drink? Let's say what shall we drink? Because wollen is like want to, so it could be what do we want to drink? Oh, do we have bits? That's penalty fine for not capitalizing the T in Tage. Oh, I feel like did I do it? I don't. Oh, did I? Oh, yeah. I actually think it's an older song than the 70s or 80s. Ice Bunny. By the way, I'm gonna sing that. I'm gonna sing the bit song because I love singing the bit song. I think it was longer. I think it's an older song. I think it's a much older song, but I think it became popular again. I think it's an older song, but then I think it might be from. I feel like it's much older than the 70s. I think it just became popular again in the 70s and 80s. But I think as a protest song, but I think it's an older protest song. Is today a hard cut at 3 p.m.? It is not. Probably we're gonna be like 320, something like that. I believe the lyrics would translate are "I'm blue, dabadi dabada dabada." Uh, is it not instead of? No, it's I've got wollen. Was wollen wir trinken? Yeah, no, it's wollen, not werden. It's wollen. So wollen is to want, right? So it's was wollen wir trinken? What do we want to drink? For 7 days, 7 Tage lang. Was wollen wir trinken? What do we want to drink? Or what shall we drink? What shall we drink is probably a better translation in English. So ein Durst, such a thirst. Was wollen wir trinken? 7 Tage lang. Was wollen wir trinken? So ein Durst. Es wird genug für alle sein. There'll be enough for everyone. Wir trinken zusammen. We drink together. Roll das Fass mal rein. Roll the keg in, right? Wir trinken zusammen, nicht allein. We'll drink together, not alone. And then you repeat that. This is like an A B. The thing is, the reason I think it's way older than the 70s because this is an A B form where it's like an A section and then a B section. Those alternate and they usually repeat themselves twice. So this feels to me like it's a much older song, an older folk song that was then rebrought back in the 70s. There's enough for everyone. We drink together. Bring the keg on. We drink together, not alone. And dann wollen wir schaffen, which I think schaffen is like toil, like a work toil. Then we shall. I think shall's better than want to. Shall's a much better word than want to. Like wollen is like will, but will is werden. So wollen. I think shall would be a better translation in English. And then shall we toil 7 days long, and then we shall toil. Komm, fass an. So like let's get to it. And then we shall toil 7 days long, and then we shall toil. Come, let's go. Und das wird keine Plackerei. Wir schaffen zusammen 7 Tage lang. Wir schaffen zusammen, nicht allein. Und das wird keine Plackerei. And then there's no what do we call it? Plackerei is like slang. Would you say plackerei is like conflict? Oh, Balrog, you're welcome. I don't know if you like that song, but I was saying that this song really reminds me of you. Like this song, like you just feel like a good salt of the earth woman who's going to go and bring all the people together. Like this song just feels to me like you. It just feels to me like you. You were making milkshakes and missed it. Don't worry, I'll tell you. Maybe at the end, I'll sing it to you again. How about at the end? At the end, I'll sing it to you again. Although I still want to transcribe it downwards. Yeah, plackerai. How would we translate that? I feel like it's like maybe conflict or. Oh, it totally sounds like a communist song, right? Absolutely. How would we translate? Let me see. How do you translate this? Difficulty, right? Yeah. Okay. Drudgery, difficult labor. Yeah. It is schaffen, as with we can cope, we can deal with this. Yeah, okay, that's good. Dann wollen wir schaffen. Like so, we'll get through this. 7 days long, and we shall get through this. Komm, fass an, let's go. All right. Und das wird keine Plackerei. So like there'll be no, and it will not be drudgery, right? We'll make it together. We'll make it through together. Make it through is good. We'll make it through together. 7 days long, we'll make it through together. Nicht alone, not alone. Pardon me. Sometimes I just slip back into German. And then our last verse. Schaffen in this is work, because Baden-Württemberg it can mean to work. Because I thought it was like for me, schaffen was like to. For me, schaffen I always thought of it as For me, I always thought of schaffen, at least in Bavaria, when I heard of we used schaffen. When I learned it in Bayern in Bavaria, schaffen meant to achieve, to work, to but like to work, to do a thing successfully. Oh, das schaffen wir. We can do that. Ja, hast du es geschaffen? Ja, total. Ich habe es geschaffen. I did it, but like not just like anything, but like I overcame the challenge. Like I succeeded in doing the thing. Work. Yep. It's probably more schaffen as in working, as in yeah, like working, right? Yeah. Work, toil, burden. Yeah, absolutely. And then our last verse is Jetzt müssen wir streiken. Kind of ice. Now this is very interesting because the lyrics here say streiken, which would be thinking of like to strike. But when I heard them singing it, when I heard the bot singing it, what I heard was not streiken, to strike, but streiten with a T, which is to struggle, but in a bit more of a, like, you know, a bit more of a conflict kind of a way. The plackerei, drudgery, grind. So I heard the song as singing, jetzt müssen wir streiten, rather than streiken, but the lyrics here say streiken with a K. So it's a little bit unclear to me whether this song is actually about, but now these things are not necessarily separate. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You could be striking, and that can also lead to like physical conflict. But streiten is an argument, is a fight, right? Yeah, it's a fight. So for me, I always heard this as streiten is a fight. We have to fight. We have to fight. The lyrics on the internet say streiken, but I always heard streiten as in like a fight, struggle, fight. So first we have to like drink, then we have to work or overcome, right? And then we have to either strike or fight, depending on how this translation is. So, right, I always heard this as to fight, right? Jetzt müssen wir, yeah, and now we must, let's just say fight. No one knows how long it could be. See, yeah, I always heard this as a, yeah, you know, für ein Leben ohne Zwang, for a life without Zwang, oppression or pressure. Jetzt müssen wir streiten, or streiken. And the band who got to know this song published it in the 80s. They did, but I think this is like a, I do not think this song. Und kriegt der Frust und kriegt der Frust uns nicht mehr klein. And then the frust is frustration, right? And then frustration will not make us small. Wir halten zusammen, keiner kämpft allein. We hang together, no one fights alone. Wir gehen zusammen, nicht allein. We go together, not alone. Und dann kriegt der Frust uns nicht mehr klein. Wir halten zusammen, keiner kämpft allein. Wir gehen zusammen, nicht allein. And then the la 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 la's. Ooh. Ooh. And the song, ooh, thank you, Valtiel. Copy link. So the band that did this song, made it popular in the 80s, is called Bots. Song of the Cider in the Breton language is a traditional song of Brittany, whose words in Breton were written in 1929 by two moribund teenagers, Jean Bernard and Jean-Marie Prima. The melody became known by the interpretation of the famous Breton singer Alan Stivell in the 70s, and in 1977 by the Dutch band Bots under the name Zeven Dagen Lang. And actually, one of the reasons why I was thinking about this song is because I also knew that it was originally that the Bots did it in Dutch first before they did it in German. And so I was thinking about like all the folks in the chat who also are Dutch speakers, so that was cool. Okay, so this looks like it is a traditional song, which means, yeah, it is old. Thank you, Baltiel. So it looks like there's like 1,000 gazillion bands who have sung it in a lot of different languages. Tutjen Boord, which by Ellen Gouchard, which I don't know what language is that. What language is that? And then Ev Christa Talau Scare, which by Kevin St. Malo and Jacques Millard. I wonder what language that is. Then Alan Stivell, Bots in Dutch, Frida Bocra La Mere, which could be French, Oktoberclub, Was wollen wir trinken, German, Bots 7 Tage lang, German, Angelo Branduradi, Gulliver, Italian maybe? Ev Christa Lau, which, yeah, Breton, right? A bunch of German. The Pitcher Drink, 99, 95, probably English. Scooter, How Much is the Fish? Is a hardcore Euro dance song by the German group Scooter. Okay, then we've got some Russian. Segundo Siendo, which is probably Spanish. All for One, English. Willie's Lake. This is interesting because look. Whenever something's a folk song, people are able to sort of redo it in many different ways, and so this is at least 100 years old, right? Absolutely. Um, Song is, I would say, oppression works in this context. Being, yeah, song like that kind of pressure, right? Right. I feel like song that feels to me like song is pressure, right? And so I feel like kind of like a pressure, but in that kind of oppressive way, right? Um, yeah, yeah, being forced to, like, yeah, song. We want a life without song, pressure, oppression, like being forced to do things against your will. It things feels like something you would sing during The Witcher. Atomica. This does feel like a song you would sing in The Witcher, doesn't it? Absolutely. Yeah, they were Dutch. They were a Dutch group, but then they re-sang it in German. I love how Scooter's in that list, right? Uh, that's it is techno. Wait. Will tell us. Wait, will tell us how much is it? Song can also mean being forced to. Yeah. So for me, yeah, for me, and I'm actually really interested. Hey, any of you people who speak, okay, for those of you who speak Dutch and also German, would you do me a favor and pull up on your browsers Sieben Tage lang, or the Dutch version of it. Go to the last verse, and will you tell me if you hear, for that last verse at the end, do you hear Jetzt müssen wir streiken with a K or streiten with a T? I would like to know what you hear, because I hear streiten, but uh, this website, which has the lyrics written down, says streiken, and I want to know what you hear, because I hear streiten, but I would love to know what you all hear, because, like, if it's streiken, I'll say streiken, but I hear streiken, so also swallowing my consonants anyway. Has this been done in Pig Latin? Ooh, yes, I bet you can Pig Latin it. I will have to check this on the Cinder because I need to set up Mansion of Madness. Ooh, Mansion of Madness is so fun. Hey, Balrog, happy birthday. Are you going to? I didn't tell you this, but I was thinking about this. This is the thing I wanted to tell you. I have a game. I'm gonna sing, by the way, for bits. I am, but give me a second. I want to show you all something real quick. Really quick. I want to show you something. Okay, so what I wanted to show you real quick was I got a new game, and the game made me think about you all, and I think you all know why. Um, but I got this new game, and it got the golden. So here, it's called Maquis, and right, it's a French Resistance game, but it's a little solo board game. And I was thinking that maybe, because when I played the Wretched, I set up the tower, the Jenga tower, right over here. Well, you can't see me, but like right on my desk, and I had a little, brought my little webcam to view it. So I thought that maybe I could maybe test out doing like a board game, because I might be able to set up a board game right here on my desk and make sure the camera can capture it. And if the camera can capture it, maybe I could play this French Resistance board game, and we could all see what it plays like. Not today, of course, but I thought that could be a thing that maybe we could do. I mean, we'll see anyway, because I got this game and I just, you know what I mean, yeah. Oh, there's an app version. Oh, Vulpus says it's good and hard. Ooh, the lyrics in Google. Oh, the lyrics in Google say streiten. Interesting. Interesting. Also, there's an app version. Okay, check it out. Okay. But I want somebody to listen to it. If somebody would just listen to it, let me know what they hear. Wait, you know what? Maybe we could do. Hold on a second. I bet I can play one line of it here without getting completely demonetized. Let me cue it up. Here we go. Hold on. Okay, so I'm gonna just play this one line, and I want you to tell me, those of you who speak German, if you hear streiken or streiten. All right. Let's see what we got here.
Jetzt müssen wir streiten, keiner weiß wie lang, ja für ein Leben ohne Zwang. Jetzt müssen wir streiten.
Like, I hear streiten, I hear that with a T. For me, that is very clearly the word streiten with a T. What do y'all think? Because I look, that to me is just so clearly streiten, not streiken. Yeah, I heard a T, right? I heard a T. Okay. Okay, good. So, yeah. I just thought it was pretty weird to me that I pull up the lyrics online for like a lyric site, and they have it with a K for streiken. And I was like, yeah, that is not what I'm hearing. Come on, everybody, let's play a game. I bet we can make Matter Trooper recipes next esoteric. Oh, come on, everybody. But speaking of, okay, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one that heard a T that time of gifts is amazing. That heard a T there. Thank you. Because, like, here's the thing. I think it matters that the word is streiten rather than streiken, because streiten with a T is struggle, right? It's to struggle, to fight. And the idea that you could be, and of course, a union strike is also a struggle, but the struggle is much bigger than just a strike. So I always heard this song as like being a bit more broadly applicable to the larger struggle for freedom. This is why I associate this with Balrog. I associate Balrog, I associate her with a struggle for freedom. I don't know why, but I do. I think it's because in my mind, Balrog is kind of a hero. She's like a hero to me. I just see her like, I would cast her in a movie. I would cast her in a movie where she's like this. Anyway, don't ask me why, but those are like, I get visions of people sometimes that just sort of come, like, I just associate people with things sometimes. Like, I see them in, I'm a very visual person. I see images of people sometimes. And like, I see PH on like a cobblestone street, walking down a cobblestone street, and PH has got like a messenger bag with flyers, and PH is handing out flyers to people, and people are looking at these flyers, and they are like nodding, like PH is doing some kind of canvassing work, spreading like important information, and it's like something that the community needs to know. Like in my mind, that's what like Balrog PH is giving out really important information. And it's like some kind of information that'll like help people. And in my mind, that's what I see PH doing. And I see Balrog like standing on a small little hill, and she has one leg up on like some rubble or like a stone, and she's sort of like looking boldly, and her hair is like flowing behind her. And then if you look behind her, there's like a group of people who are ready to go and like move forward, and like there's like, it's kind of like this, like there's a swell of music, and like for different people I just see different things. I don't know why, and like not for everybody, but every once in a while there's certain people that like I'll just have this like image in my mind of them doing something, and it's like usually not a long image, it's like usually less than 5 seconds, right? It's like a very short little image, like a little high density bit of information where I see somebody, and so it's like a, you know what it is? It's a kind of image that you would see if you're, this is what it is. If I were making, because you know how Roll For It would do those really cool opening credit sequences for their RPGs, where each of the players would do like a very, very, very short little video, probably on their phone, and then send it in, and then like EE would like turn that into like a video where, like I'm thinking about the one for Layla, the Vampire Slayer, where you see Random Tuesday, and she's got the book, and then like she kind of looks up, right, and then like each person has like a little thing that they're doing, and so I get these little like images of people that I know randomly in what would be best thought of as like a small little video clip that you would use for the opening title sequence for some thing. And so I get little clips of people like that sometimes. Not everybody, not all the time, but I do. I worry with what you associate me is, yeah, Balrog is basically liberty leading the masses. Basically, yes, right? She is liberté. And but in the she's somewhere between the 19 teens and the 1940s in my mind. Not her age, just like the era, like thinking about the clothing. And PH feels to me in the image I have of him it feels to me like that is probably somewhere between, like, it feels very contemporary. Like, it feels very contemporary, although it could be like a decade ago. But like PH feels like this is happening right now. It's like, yeah, it's like a Marvel movie clip title sequence amalgamation. Absolutely. So I just get that sometimes, and I can't tell you when it happens or why it happens, and it's not even about how close I am to somebody. Sometimes I get people who are really close to me, they'll just come up right away. Sometimes, look, I'm a very visual person. That's it. I have a very visual life. But we did get some bits, and I'm going to sing We're in the Money, as sung by Ginger Rogers in the film Gold Diggers 1933. And I'm going to sing it in Pig Latin, because that's how she does it. And I feel like I'm going to sing it like this. I want to sing it like Rudy Valley. I don't know if I can, but I'm going to try. Rudy Valley, Rudy Valley. I've got to sing it like Rudy Valley. So Rudy Valley was a crooner who was really, really popular in the 1920s into the very early 30s. And he would sing like this. He would sing, sleepy time, gal, you're turning night into day. This is how he sang, you know, sleepy time, gal, you'll dance the evening away. Let me see if I can sing We're in the Money in that kind of style, while still keeping the melody, which is a little bit hard because 20s crooners are very swoopy. Away and hey, the army may. Away and hey, the army may. Way out, way out, way out, way out, way out, way out, way you. Away and hey, the army may. See the ice skates are on the stay. Oh, bandy, I should pray you, pray you, I stay on way you. Even the head red lines lay up where bronze lay, who played it? And when we see them, we ought to look that big eye right in the eye. We're in the money, we're in the money. He'd go higher. Oh, we've got a lot of what it takes to get along. Thank you for those bits. And that was my attempting to do, and that, you know, ooh, that's very interesting, because here's the thing that's really interesting. The way, look, little detail, musical detail. Also, while we're here, we're gonna play the Outer Worlds, because that's what we're doing today. I feel like we're almost done with the mission, with the entire Gorgon sequence. I really feel like we are at that moment, and I have a question about audio. Oh, good, I heard it. Okay, I heard it. So what we have to do, by the way, we have convinced the daughter to talk to the mother. Now we have to go to the mother and convince her to talk to the daughter, which I believe we're going to have to do by murdering a lot of people on our way to get there, right? That is going to be what we have to do. That's just news. So, come on, everybody, let's play a game. I bet we can make a game out of Super SUP's next esoteric aim. The first topic of the aim. I'll forget it like it wasn't there. Then the next topic, then the next. Will somehow appear. And then I'll squirrel left and to right, then around the thing. And then, anyway, so what I was going to say is, we're going to be shooting a bunch of people right now. That's going to be the thing we're going to do. And just real quick note, we're going to do some murder. Also, I really think I got rid of my... I got rid of my... what do you call it? I had a sniper rifle, and I sort of got rid of the sniper rifle because I sort of wanted...
We're in the money.
Things that had better... better DPS. Because I can only use that sniper rifle once, and it's not taking people down. You know what I mean? So, since it's not taking people down, I figure might as well just go and do some shooting. But I wanted to tell you something about Melody. Now I want my sniper rifle, everybody. I'm gonna put the sniper rifle back. I kept it. Let's we're going to put the cipher. Like, I just want the cipher rifle back. I know that this is ridiculous. I understand that. It is what it is, but that's what we're gonna do. Here we go. Look, one shot. Then we'll have to, like, you know, it is what it is. But I have to tell you. Oh, hey, we killed that person with one shot. What happened? We have not been successful at doing that up until now. Oh, hi. This person is up in my face. We're not in a fight. This is great, but I needed to tell you something. I'm not done telling you things. We also have to eat, because apparently if you don't eat... you know. Oh, did we get more bits? Woo! Hey, by the way, everybody, I have a question about that. I have updated the thing. Look, y'all, I did an update. Look, I have 2 things to tell you now. 3 things. 1, I want to talk to you about the Melody of the Crooners. Don't let me forget. Melody of the Crooners. How Ginger Rogers' melody is... Okay, look. Here's the thing I want to tell you. Also, I need to write this down. Melody, Gender, 1920. So I should write a paper about it. Rudy Valley, Ginger Rogers. That's one topic that I wanted to be about. The second topic is I'm going to do bits. Oh, Greta Lynn. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you, Rissa. That was the thing I wanted to ask. Were you getting an audio alert? And the answer is yes. Yes, you are. Great. Okay. So, and the question was, for the bits, are you? And the answer to that is no, but I think I know how to fix that. So, basically, I spent some time the other night trying to work out... This is how we do it. Monitor and output. This is how we do it. This should, I feel like, fix this for me, and I will just make sure. So basically, I went through the other night, and I worked hard to try to go and make sure that I could get the old... I was basically because I'm doing Stream Elements now rather than Streamlabs, and I'm transitioning over from one to the other, and it's still not fully done yet, but it's almost there, and I sort of set up the alerts as they were, and I try to make sure that I could get the audio working. And so I think that if you have got it, and I think that this will do it for me, so yes. The hurdy-gurdy got made. Oh, Volus, your hurdy-gurdy got made? Wonderful, because customer left a coffee grinder, piano, and some strings which we repaired at the same time, and they got fused together. Did hurdy-gurdy? Yes, okay. So, we've got some bits from Volpez for Loretta Lynn. Okay, let me think. Loretta Lynn, hold on. Loretta Lynn, oh, by the way, Trixie Mattel has a song called Loretta, which is in honor of Loretta Lynn. It's from a while ago, but it's great. Let me think. Loretta Lynn, I'm going to want, like, Fist City. I'm going to want Coal Miner's Daughter. I'm going to want... let me think about it. Let me think about this. I want to get something that is super, super Loretta Lynn-y in my mind. I want... Let me think. By the way, Loretta Lynn is amazing. The Pill is the one I'm thinking about right now. The Pill. It would be something like... hold on. Actually, in my history of rock and roll class, I do teach The Pill. I really need to teach a class on country music somehow. Let me think. The Pill. Brudenhouse. Now I've got the pill. Let me think. Show me the world. Show. All I say, this old world is a bed and a Dr. Bill. Dr. Bill. That's how she sang that. And she was, why? There's a thing, she has a, like, her voice doesn't have a lot of waver in it, but she'll sort of get broad in some of her vowels a little bit. So, now I've got the pill. Now I've got the pill. So something like maybe, earway, wife, wife, brooding house, house. Now I've got the pin to the world. Hey, earway and hey, the honey made. Earway and hey, the honey made. Eve way up, gay lay out, way up, with it, way to you take it, gay lay long way, yo. A long way, yo. That's good right there. Earway and hey, the honey made. Earway and hey, the honey made. Eve way up, gay lay out, way up, way to you take it, gay lay long way, yo. He went every in red lines way, way at Brown's lay out today. And when we see the landlord, we look at the eye, in the eye. We're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. I could get better. I gotta practice. I'd have to practice because she does a couple of things a little idiosyncratically, but like we're getting there. We're getting there. Ooh, got a tab. Just some hurdy-gurdy music. That's what we need. Okay, so did I just eat this stuff? I think I ate this stuff. Okay. So we did audio alerts, which, by the way, I think I probably fixed. We'll see. And this guy, I don't think we can kill in one hit, but we're gonna try. And I wanted to tell you something about melody. Well, there we go. Here we go. Hi. That was great. So, look. What I wanted to tell you. This is sort of interesting. So you know, I'm a music scholar, right? Which is what I do. And also, by the way, we are currently killing things. And we're going to go and solve the problem and head over to the salt. We're going to bring mother and daughter together. And it's going to be great. Also, that's what we're going to do. So, so, as you all know, one of the things I do for a living is I teach music. And I specialize in, like, cultural issues of culture and identity. And, you know, I do things like, hi. How are you doing? I feel like all of you should be having a great time. Ooh. Thanks for punching them. That was great. So I do a lot of issues of, like, how do we present race or gender or class or region through our musical performance, and what do those performances mean? How do we sound various ways? What do we do with the music to sort of evoke the kinds of identity we want to invoke, and when we do, what does it mean? What does it sound like? How do we understand those identities right through what the sound is like? And so I do a lot of that, right? And I think a lot about the construction of gender through music, the construction of sexuality, all that kind of stuff. I do a lot of it. And when we were chatting, I just realized something that I think is pretty interesting, which is about Ginger Rogers and We're in the Money. So, Deepest Beast, I had no idea you like music. So you can see right now that I'm killing it. Thank you. I am killing it. So, all right, so let's see. Messages. I actually think I've seen all these messages, so I don't think we need to read them. So we can just go further along, which I think is fun. So, all right, so the song We're in the Money is written by some songwriter. I don't know who wrote it. I could look it up, but I do not currently know who did it. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? There is a... That sounds like a what do you call it? Oh, wait for a moment. That sounds like a
What was that?
Excuse me. Oh. Ooh. That sounds like a vending machine, but I don't think it's a vending machine here. I will say we have been in here before, so we probably don't have... Look, I'm trying to find the mom, so let's... Okay, why is there an arm on the floor? You know, people are... DSB, why is there an arm on the floor? It's because my character, Jezza, who's a bartender and also a hacker, and is very disarming. I hope that PH was proud of.
Getting our leg exercises in at least.
You know. Oh, thanks, Dioka. Also, why? Like, I need to have more volume than I currently do. Oh, Artie Snack, just in case somebody nearby needs a hand. That's really good. That's really good. So, so I do a lot with like thinking about music, and one of the things that I work on a lot, actually, although I haven't been able to do a lot of work on this recently because of my life, is I worked a lot on new manifestations of gender in the 1920s, the ways in which like young people, like the youth culture of the 1920s, was challenging previous notions of gender and sort of, oh, okay. We're here, by the way. We're going to hit this vending machine, and we're going to sell all of our junk. Do you know I never buy anything in vending machines? I think it's because I have a lot of stuff, and I don't need to buy things. You know, I mean, maybe some of these things could be very interesting and all of that, but I feel pretty decent with what we got. But I also know that we don't have a lot of money, so we're going to try to sell stuff. But when you bless them so hard, they just break up that trust before falling under. Yeah. So like, look, there was a huge, like the 20s was really interesting because there was a lot of, oh, we are going to be selling things that have, we're not going to sell that. We're going to sell things that are low value, low level. That is a level 40 rifle, everybody. I don't think I have anything that high up level. Oh, hey, we got some, looks like we got some good high level stuff. So we are going to maybe keep some of these things. Also, we'll just keep some of this stuff. Looks really good is all I'm trying to say. Some of this stuff looks pretty impressive, so, and this is an axe which I'm gonna just break down. It might be okay. I wanted to tell you the thing. Awesome. And then, selling. Is there anything armor-wise I can get rid of because it's low level? Maybe. And then I have to tell you stuff. I want to tell you about, this is all level 30, which I think we can actually sell. And I hope you're all very proud of me. Or, this is level 17, which definitely are going to sell. Level 20 we're getting rid of. This is a Moon Man hat, which I think is cool, so we're going to keep it. We're getting rid of level 30. And definitely a 22. Yeah, but we'll keep that. Okay, so look, I have sold lots of things. You should be very proud of me. And because we saved, I'm going to save. You should be proud of me. You don't like stuff, you like money. I think I like stuff like money, to be honest. Selling things in a capital society is weird. Laborers don't sell things, they sell labor. So I probably should be keeping all this stuff in my inventory. We're going to kill a lot of those marauders, and I feel badly about it because they've been addicted to drugs. But that is what we're going to do. I'm not proud, but I'm not disappointed. Oh, okay, I don't get disappointment, that's important. Because I don't want the disappointment. That would make me sad. Old punks and rebels will get a heart attack to hear their musical project has melody and false principle of music theory, like the music theory they rebelled against. It depends. I feel like some punks were weird avant-garde folks who would know it. You know what I mean? So let me see. This is from T. Hennessy. Subject, welcome to fourth. Hi there. Not sure what you did to get sent here, but I'm so sorry. The good news is that everyone here is in the same ship, so don't feel too ashamed. And hey, it could be worse. Looks like you're one of the lucky ones. Lots of new arrivals don't even get a functioning terminal, and if they do, it gets modified to hibernate at regular intervals to save power. You'll quickly find that we're last in line for everything down here, but don't worry. If we stick together and look out for each other, I'm sure we can turn this department around in no time. Kind regards, Thomas R. Ennis. Do you know where the toilet is? I ate too many fish sticks. Larry. Artie says, I just noticed that Trooper strategically has his logo covering over the current encumbersable. Oh. I'm not encumbered. not encumbered. Also, you cannot see my encumbersable. If I had encumbrance, a little heavy weight would show up, and you could actually see it because the weight is it's visible. It isn't actually covered up. We're gonna shoot this person in the head, by the way. Whoa. That was kind of intense. Makes me feel bad, actually. Because I just murdered that person, like, kind of hardcore, and that makes me feel just for the record. Cool. Okay, great. Cool. Alright, so here's what I want to tell you. You just shot that person in the head, but, now, here we go. I'm gonna pull out my, pistol, because I'm pretty good at that. Oh, you dodged. Hey, leave me alone. I don't... Leave me alone. That's what I want. Also, I kind of feel like I should probably up my small rifle, my small handgun skill, if I'm going to be using it so much. Anyway, what did I tell you about gender in the 1920s? Don't think of this as murdering them. Think of them as freeing them from this dystopia. Yeah. And that doesn't make people guilty at all. Yep, I am freeing them from the dystopia. That's what I'm... Speaking of which, let's repair all of our equipment, shall we? Okay, so we're talking about gender in the 1920s. As we are making good progress in the game, so there was this like big general upending of gender norms in the 1920s. People really sort of were doing very different things with gender. This is like kind of the flappers, right, and the crooners. So I'm going to use language that I don't think is like the best language to use, not because I think it's offensive, just because people often will have associations with that language that I don't want them to have. This is the best way to put it. Pardon. So you had a bunch of people, like you had a bunch of women being, for lack of a better word, masculine, and a bunch of men, for lack of a better word, being feminine. But I would like you if you would do this for me. I don't mind using those terms, but only as long as you don't think of masculine as being men and feminine as being women, right? If you can remove masculine...
I'd rather crawl through another HIA than work in a place like this.
If you might, for me, separate in your mind the term masculine and men or manliness, and also the term feminine and woman, that would be... Then we're okay, right? Because it's basically, I'm not talking about men and women, right? I'm not saying that women are acting like men or men are acting like women. I do not want to put men and women. I do not, please, if you would for me, do not equate masculine and men and feminine and women. And if you do not equate those things, then I can say that women in the 1920s were sort of taking on more masculine traits and men in the 1920s were taking on more feminine traits. Just don't equate them in men and women, and then we'll be good. It's just that many people often do. Do you know what I mean? Many people just sort of often default think that masculine is man and like feminine is woman, and separate those things for me, and then I can finish that thought. People in the Outer Worlds haven't got the memo that bolt-action rifles become obsolete after World War I. I know. And then Artie Snacks says, do you really expect Spacer's Choice to give them anything remotely current or up to date? Let's see. Kevin, please stop taking your frustrations out on the filing cabinets. I know technical support gives you a hard time about the vending machine, but I would much rather have all our vending machines smashed to bits than come in every morning to see another pile of files scattered across the floor. Honest to law, what has gotten into this office? You're the third person to show unprofessional violence in the workplace in as many days. Is there something in the salt tuna? Listen, Kevin, if the work is testing your composure, then I encourage you to look inside yourself to find the source. Work fortifies the spirit. Maybe you're not giving your work the attention it deserves. Minoro elesa. Eleison. Minoro eleison. From? Hi, Minoro. Thanks for explaining your filing system to me earlier. I think that gave me a better understanding of where to find the information I need. However, I'm still not entirely sure I understand it. So, you use the first letter of the file name, find a Spacer's chosen player who has a surname starting with that letter, then organize the file based on the year in which that player was drafted? I appreciate how hard you've worked to implement this system, but wouldn't it be more straightforward to just organize it alphabetically? Kind regards, Thomas Hennessy. Something Adrena time. So, women in the 1920s started cutting their hair short. You know, they started taking on traits that society would think of as masculine. They'd wear suits, etc., etc. And men, similarly, they were also doing these kind of gender versions. And this was a thing that people at the time were talking about, right? Like, this was not a thing that I'm just making up. There are people at the time who were talking about this. Like, there's a song from the 20s called Masculine Women, Feminine Men. Masculine women, feminine men. Which is the rooster, which is the hen? It's hard to tell them apart today. Look at that. Look at those trousers, baggy and wide, and nobody knows what's walking inside or what's hiding inside. It's hard to tell them apart today, I say. How's the B section go? You know, like, sister just started to shave, and brother just likes his permanent wave. So it's all about the ways in which, like, I mean, look, the 1920s was, like, super into, like, gender flipping, androgyny, and all that sort of, like, sexuality and modernity. It was, like, you know, some old people were, like, freaking out. But here's what I was thinking about when you're talking. Speaking of which, I did want to write about overcoding and undercoding. Overcoding, undercoding. I need to write some academic papers. And also, I wanted to write about this new idea about gender. New idea about gender and pick-me girls. New idea about gender and pick-me girls. That's an article I want to write. Undercoding and overcoding. Empathy gap. And then Ginger Rogers and Rudy Valley, which is what I'm talking to you about right now. Boom. Okay. I think this song makes a lot of sense. We all know our body parts are individually sentient and are hiding our clothes. This is true, actually. That's why we wear clothes, because if we didn't wear clothes, our body parts would jump off and then run around. So it's just a true statement. There's a song about this, actually. To T. Hennessy, subject, cool your thrusters friend. Hey, new guy. Here's the honest truth. When you get here, you're stuck here. Doesn't matter how hard we work or how well we perform, and there's a reason for that. One day, I had to take something up to HR, and they accidentally called me a quota employee. Thought that was a little suspicious, so I poked over a few bits to the maintenance guys to look into it. Turns out, it meant exactly that. We're part of a quota. See, Spacer's Choice has certain requirements that a project has to meet in order to receive the top tier of funding, including a minimum number of employees at each location. So they tossed some desks right above the boiler room, made a PAM unit our direct supervisor, and here we are. At first I was mad about it, like I'm sure you are, but then I realized that I could benefit from my situation. Nothing's expected of us, so we can just drift along, like a ship that's killed its engine. So when you show up and push things to full burn all the time, it really throws off the equilibrium. You know what I mean? Tone down the enthusiasm is all I'm saying. At least, 3 notches. And I sincerely appreciate the advice, and I do understand your concerns. However, I cannot resign myself to such an apathetic course of action. I do not know your employment history, but as for myself, I was quite good at my job, exemplary even. I may have suffered a setback, but but I'm unwilling to accept that this reassignment is some kind of fatal wound for which my career cannot recover. If we turn this department around and show management that we are valuable members of the Spacer's Choice family, surely they won't let us waste away in this basement. We just have to push ourselves harder. So please, with all due respect, try not to discourage me. Thank you. Kind regards, Thomas Hennessy. Well, that's nice for you. I wonder if I murdered Thomas Hennessy. It's a question that I have. Just a question. So this was like, I think you already know, but I have opinions about pick-me girls. Yeah, I've been like reconceptualizing pick-me girls in a way that's different from the current trend. So I'm thinking about gender in slightly different ways. Thinking about the ways in which maybe we can expand the way we think about gender to more people than we often do. So I'm trying to be expansive, basically. It's what's going on. I'm trying to be a good expansive person. Anyhow, because that's the thing. I just think we often don't think about gender expansively enough. Like we don't. I think we could do better. The problem is about norming, right? So one of the ways in which norms work, if you don't know it, is that people who are the norm, generally speaking, they do not recognize their categories very often because they're not encouraged to recognize their categories. So a lot of German music teachers must not get how much Spexy is in the Kleine Grüne Kaktus if you know how to read between the words. Oh, sure. Funny people get salted that someone wore baggy pants, someone dyed their hair and used makeup when Scottishmen have miniskirts and Pope wears a dress, and people have been wearing makeup forever. People get, it's not actually about the details, it's about people being freaked out by things being different, So, I'm going to get back to Picture Brothers, but vending machine's broken again. What I want to tell you was the way that sort of like these sort of systems work, that if you're in the norm, you are discouraged from thinking about your normative categories, right? So, and then if you are not in the norm, the category that you have that is not within the norm tends to be highlighted, right? So it's the difference. So like a movie about a young boy coming of age and becoming a man is often thought of as a universal story, or literature, or a book, or a movie. Whereas a movie or a book or a film or whatever TV show about a young girl who has a coming of age story and becomes a woman is not thought of as a universal story or as literature. It's often thought of as chick lit, or a woman's book, or a like a, you know what I mean, like a chick flick or a chick lit. And in this way, what ends up happening is that people who are men often do not necessarily think of their gender. They don't necessarily think about it. But if you are not a man, if you're like a woman or two-spirited or whatever, your gender is often highlight for you. In the same way that you can say like, oh, we have African Americans or Asian Americans, and you have Americans. And they say Americans, they sort of mean white American, because the invention, like the white race, which is an invented thing, becomes the norm. And so if you are white, you don't have to think about race. You don't have to think about your race. Whereas if you're not white, then you do. If you do not have a physical disability, you don't have to think about disability. But if you do, then you do, right? And so you can think about, so there's a way in which, same thing with class or race or gender or sexuality. If you are in the center of this thing, you don't have to think about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just don't have to think about it in these ways. Castlevania is about extrovert invading introvert's personal space. Oh, right? That will, like, that's another thing. Extrovert versus introversion is another one of these things that if you're within the norm, you don't have to think about it. And the reason why I think this is something that is, why I'm thinking about this is because if a person is not heterosexual, like if I meet a person who's queer, what I'm probably going to say to them, if I want to get to know them, I might say like, hey, when did you know that you were queer? Tell me your coming out story. Let me know how that happened. And I could be like, oh, well, this is my coming out story. This is how I figured it out. Like, oh, we bonded. And if I know that somebody's queer, I might be like, oh, well, you know, tell me about your sexuality. We'll think about it, right? And they thought, I'm like, oh, I'm this or this. Or also, kink, you could be heterosexual at kinky, and that would sort of still fit, right, in the same space. But a lot of straight people have never had to come out as straight to themselves. They never had to sort of sit there and be like, wait, what is my sex? Am I straight? Oh my gosh, I'm straight. Because it's just assumed, right? And so that kind of process of investigating your sexuality is something that a lot, not all, but a lot of straight people have never had to do because they just fit within the assumed norm. And that's not great, right? Because the process of exploring your sexuality is actually quite good. I think it's a good thing to do, to figure out what you actually are attracted to and how your sexuality works. Same thing with gender identity. A lot of trans people have to go and explore and figure out what their gender identity is and how it works and what's the difference between like their gender expression and their gender identity and how they relate to gender norms. Like there's all sorts of like work you have to do because you don't fit within the norm. But if you do fit within the norm or close enough, you often don't even realize that's a thing that you can do. Some people do, but a lot of people don't because they don't realize that they can. And so what happens is I think there are a lot of people who are, let's say, cisgendered, let's just say, who have not been able to explore their gender. And I feel like that's not great for them because if you get to explore your gender, you might realize that while you do not have any physical dysphoria, perhaps, you know, there might be something different about your gender expression or you might be able to learn more things and become more empowered and become a more you version of yourself if you realize that you could. Do you know what I mean? Like if you realize that you could, and I will say, I think this is actually like some of this discussion becoming more prevalent because I think right now a bunch more people are now thinking about gender in a way they hadn't done before. Now I'm seeing more people who are identifying as like demi-girls or demi-boys, and I think that's good. I think that there are people who had never realized they could think about their gender before, who are now taking time to think about their gender and are like, oh wait, actually it doesn't actually match 100%. It matches like 70%, but not 100%, and are able to come to new ideas about who they are. And I think that's good. I think being able to do some kind of self-work, self-exploration to, you know, because look, my main motto, like my central core motto for myself is, to thine own self be true, from Hamlet, right? And it's really hard to be true to yourself if you're living in a society that discourages you from exploring certain things about yourself. And going overseas outside of the United States and being able to explore, realize that I did have various cultural norms that I had internalized for being American that I'd never realized that I had done before. It was very good for me to be able to be aware of the fact that I internalized American cultural norms, even though I never thought that I did, see them and become aware of them and be able to think about what they mean and what I want to do with them. So being able to realize that those things are... Yeah, so anyway, that's like what this other article I want to write about. From K's Amance to S10. Vending machine broken again. Gentle, how am I supposed to be gentle when I can't get my 2-hour energy? It's not right. It's criminal. I haven't had my brew in weeks. I've been reduced to borrowing Adrena time from the chem lab just to get me going through my shift. Fix your vending machine or I'm coming back with a tossball stick. I agree completely. This is about the betting. Who are they to tell you what to do with your tossball sticks? What are you supposed to do? Just let them sit around, not hitting things? That's not what they're made for. They're made for tossball. Damn it. And without tossball, what are we? Animals, Kevin. That's what. So, all that said, that means you're in on the betting pool this season, right? I know it hasn't worked out the last 3 times, but I've got a good feeling on this one. Trust me. Just make sure you have my fee ready, all right? I feel like the people here might be not doing well in the adrenatime sort of way, I feel. All right, we have been, for being, what's the word, methodological, make sure we do not forget anything. We loot all of the things. We do not want to miss looting. We're going to probably have to kill some more unfortunate people who did not do anything besides be experimented on and made addicted to a very, 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 very terrible drug. And I feel badly for them, but they're going to try to kill me, so I'm going to have to deal with that. Oh, I'm also going to see what's happening in our chat, because I bet you're saying really exciting things that I am more than excited to find out what those things are. Just side note. Okay, but I'll read this first. To human resources subject manager from Eferar. Good day. I've just started on the 3rd floor and I'm a little confused. This automechanical said it was my manager, but that can't be right. It called itself Pam. Oh, Pam. And refused to tell me where my real manager was. Can you please direct me to my manager and send this automechanical off to be repaired? Thank you. I'm Eferar. Emily. Nick, there is no mistake. Pam is a productivity automechanical and your direct supervisor. She is specially equipped to provide all your motivational and disciplinary needs as a valued member of the Spacer's Choice family. So please treat Pam as you would any other member of Spacer's Choice Management. To that end, please accept all directives, commands, responses, and silent glares from Pam as you would a living, sentient human manager. Karen Blomstadt, Senior Regional Vice Manager of Human Resources. I've got to cook today, by the way. I've got to make food. I'm also cooking. I'm going to cook today. Don't let me forget that today's also cooking day. Chat, you're saying things. I know you are. You're saying things that I want to know and that I want to hear about. Also, where are these enemies? I don't see them. I mean, I see their little red glowy dots, but I don't see them. So, Belmont extrovert is looting and pillaging Dracula's introvert castle. Oh, what am I cooking? I'm gonna be cooking. Laugh Love Lindy sent me a recipe that is that I can make in the Instapot. I've been defrawing these chicken thighs probably for a little bit too long, so I better cook them now. Like, it only took me like I think they've probably been defawed for. I think I probably defawed them like on Monday or something. Anyway, chicken adobo. She gave me a really good recipe, so I'm gonna go and like put the chicken thighs, saute them in the Instapot, pull them out, do whatever I need to do, spices, whatever, throw them all back in, Instapot it, and then make some rice, and then chicken adobo, and I'll be able to have like, you know, 8 days worth of chicken adobo, which I'm excited about. Oddly, I know you're pretty quiet today. I know. I wonder what that's about. Anyway, so I have a whole thought about pick-me girls and metrosexuals, gender exploration, like thinking about there's a reason. So we have tech support. This is we have a file directory, quarterly goals. This is good because look, I have been very unhappy with the ways in which there's like a new discourse around gender that's happening right now, and I've just not been happy. I don't like how people are describing it at all, and I understand that people are describing it this way because that's the only language they have, and right, it works for them. But I think the language is not good in the same way there are a bunch of like old school people who talk about gender in ways that I thought were also not great. There are ways in which, some of the ways in which people are talking about gender they did in the 90s, they did now, just like it's the language they have, they're doing the best they can do, but it really reinforces some terrible, terrible stereotypes. And I was like, how can I, and so I've been really thinking about, if I do not like the language people are using right now, I also didn't like the language people were using back then, can I come up with other language, other ways to conceptualize and explain, other ways to explain what's happening with people that will not reinforce stereotypes. So that's what I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about how to talk about gender in ways that do not reinforce stereotypes, right? And that is hard to do because we sort of live within stereotypes. And when you're trying to explain your gender, people often default to those stereotypes to explain what's going on. and I would like to try to find ways not to. So that's what I've been really thinking about recently. Now, of course, the problem is that is not a music paper. That's just a gender paper. So I've got to figure out where I want to submit that and what I want to do, and because I just don't think I can put music into that one. 'Cause it's really about new ways of trying to explain gender that do not rely on stereotypes. Because TERFs, trans exclusionary radical feminists, attack trans people often by saying trans people reinforce stereotypes. So I'm trying to figure out ways to use sort of come up with different ways to explain gender that will not rely on stereotypes. So that's like what's been going on in my mind recently. Quite a lot, right? And I think if I can do it right, I will be able to open up the ability to think about and explore gender to more people. If I can do it right, I think, but without making it meaningless. You know what I mean? Like without making it a meaningless term that means nothing. I think I might be able to do a thing that will allow more people to think about gender and explore gender without reinforcing stereotypes and without making it meaningless. This is what I'm hoping I can do. Maybe I should spend a couple hours writing on that article after I do mic stuff and bicycle and yeah, maybe. Yeah. So let's see. Last week we had a Batman rant. Joker as villain has qualities that aren't traditionally masculine. Oh yeah. Also, Ivy and Hart's relation is seen as a bad thing. Old comics have mass amount of queer coding. Yes, Lolas. There's a thing I want to say about that with villains and queer coding for a moment. No. Are you kidding? How can I be distracted from the game if you don't talk to me? There's like, wasn't metrosexual about sexual stereotypes as much as gender stereotypes? Like, wasn't it a straight person who did gay stuff like style their hair and have a fashion sense? Right, but the problem is, so this is actually a slightly different thing, but not, this I actually have written on. We tend to conflate, maybe we're not the same now, but we tend to conflate gender variance with sexuality variance. So, styling your hair, which is a gender thing, right? Styling your hair is a gendered situation. If a woman does it, we don't think that makes you a lesbian if you style your hair, right? Styling your hair, styling your hair itself is sort of coded feminine. And if a woman who we expect to be feminine does this feminine thing, we do not assume that she is queer, even though she very well could be. If a man who's expected to do masculine things does something we expect to be feminine, we then assume he's gay. So what we end up doing is we conflate any kind of gender variance with sexuality variance. But that becomes a problem because then what it does is it means that anyone who's heterosexual is basically pressured not to explore their gender expression, right? Because what ends up happening is that some man decides he wants to style his hair and everyone's like, you're gay, right? When really that's, it's just about him modifying what masculinity means to him, right? But that is threatening and not acceptable. So I actually have written already on the tendency to conflate gender variance with sexuality variance, how that does no one any good. That does no one any good at all. So this is just sort of expanding that even further in more ways. Yes, in more ways. So I'm trying to basically make it so that more people have options is what I'm trying to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want more people to have options without being weirdly judged, I suppose. Like, I just want people to be able to live their life, live their truth, and I also want people to know that there's more truths out there for them that they can try on and check out without that meaning, like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you, like, I just feel like the way that we've created such a narrow society, it's really not good for people who are heterosexual, and because they get to have no variance at all. Do you know what I mean? Like, the amount of space for somebody who is seen by society as cisgendered and heterosexual is so narrow. Like, any kind of deviation from such a narrow path gets them accused of being all sorts of things that is not who their identity is, and since their identity is not that thing, they're like, oh, I suppose I can't do those things. But, like, you should be able to do what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like, do what you want to do. So I'm trying to figure out ways to open up space so that more people can do things, because I think ultimately that is going to be good for everyone, right? Because at the moment, the way that we frame, let's say, normative masculinity also involves a lot of heterosexual, like homosexual panic. And I would prefer people who are heterosexual men not feel like they have to have heterosexual panic to be heterosexual men. Homosexual panic, like, they should be like, people are gay, awesome. Like, that should be totally within the realm of heterosexuality. Be like totally fine with gay people and heterosexual masculinity. And it currently kind of isn't. People get weird about it. That's what metrosexual is about, was like shaming men for like being variant. And I was like, you know what? Let's try to rework this so that you can just do what you want to do. Do you know what I mean? I just want people to be free, without getting like attacked for it. That's what I want to say. Yeah, men who dress well and took a shower. Yeah, I think it's important to note that something like pygmy girls, not like other girls, are a way for women girls to attack other women girls. It's within that category, but men trying to explore their nerves often sees opportunity for everyone to attack them. Yeah, both stereotypical, not like other girls attitude and the conversation around them. Yeah, I also think I actually think there's just something else going on with a bunch of not like other girls, and I want to explore that. I feel like sometimes we're unkind. You know what I mean? And I want to sort of be a bit more thoughtful about how we can understand people a little bit more, because there's some complicated things going on that I think we're not paying attention to. And I think that sometimes it's a little bit too easy to attack people on both, on all sorts of different directions. And if we can maybe just reframe our thinking, we might be able to find ways to not attack them. I hope. Hipster culture was good for some metrosexuals. Yes, they could be flashy and not shave. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways in which, I mean, y'all have seen those things like it's gay to take a shower, and you're like, come on, this is not good. Well, let's see. In order to be promoted to a more optimal position, I need to focus on increasing my output in every measurable performance statistic. If I'm objectively performing at a high level, management can't ignore my request. As such, I've created this document in order to track my performance, so I know what areas to focus on. Hours. Work fortifies the spirit, so this is an opportunity to stand out. I'll target 250% of the departmental average. Output. The filing system makes it difficult to go too quickly here. Still, with my overtime, I should be able to process files 125% faster than the departmental average. Performance. Having requested experimental batches of Adrenatime from KimLab, every fewer sleeping hours means more time working. More time working leads to better performance. Better performance leads to fulfillment. I will be a valuable member of Spacer's Choice family. I will belong. This is really awful. I really worry about this. Daily prayer. Repeat daily. You are a hard worker. You are a valuable member of the Spacer's Choice family. You are not your anger. You are not losing your mind. Your place in the world is fixed. Work fortifies the spirit. None of this is good. None of this is good. Not good. Not. Human resource. Final one. Comment. Please be advised that all members of the Spacer's Choice family are expected to hold to high moral and personal standards, including, but not limited to, temperance, the ability to hold one's temper and or drink, semantic hygiene, the ability to express oneself using appropriate company-approved language, and pride, a sense of contentment derived from understanding and accepting one's designated role in the workplace. Please be advised that your recent letter has violated the aforementioned standards. Your recent behavior, described by other coworkers as erratic and oddly violent, has been corroborated in the tone of your recent letter. Please report to security for re-education at the end of your shift. Have a pleasant day. Karen Blomstadt. Transfer request? Pam is a mechanical and is not programmed to write performance reviews, provide letters of recommendation, or offer professional guidance. We've been over this, and frankly, I'm having trouble controlling my patience. I have a sensation, of walls closing in on me, and I would very much appreciate a transfer. I have months worth of documentation tracking my progress and a detailed analysis of my impact on the department. If you could please just forward it to a non-mechanical manager, I'm sure my transfer will be approved. Please, I would. Very much appreciated. Kind regards, Thomas Kennedy. Well, that seems bad. That seems bad. That seems bad. Let's just frame it like that. That seems bad. Also, Jezza needs to eat food, but we don't need to eat food yet, or maybe we do, because we might right now have a talking moment, and we're going to also save, and then I'm going to see what people have to say in chat, because I feel like you're saying interesting things, and I want to know what they are. Because, you know, I feel like we're playing the game, but, you know, gotta do this the right way. Yeah. Oh, DSP is like, oh, that's what I mean. The attitude is anti-other woman, but calling someone a not like other girls also a way to attack. Yes, right? And so how do we sort of like, yeah, absolutely. But a man telling a woman that she's not like other girls is not the same kind of attack. Yes. Jared says, yeah, I get the sexuality gender conflation. I mean, in the 90s, if you heard their word butch, you knew exactly what the next word would come out of the person's mouth would be. Yes. But you could be a butch straight woman, right? Trooper has clearly had experience with these types of departmental emails before. We can't do anything about it. The computer's decided is eerily similar to Crypto's It's on the Chain, nothing we can do. Yeah. Does Trooper need to eat food, though? I'm going to have a nice chicken sandwich. Then I'm going to make some chicken. Well, no, wait. What I'm going to do is, when I finish, I'm going to drink my pre-workout drink, wash dishes, because I can't make food until I wash dishes. Take my bike ride, which is going to be probably like an hour and some, like an hour and 15, come back, have a protein drink, then spend like an hour or so making this chicken adobo. Or I'll do something like maybe I'll do 1 hour of work, like 1 hour of something, and then make the chicken adobo, have dinner, and then set up my mic, and then maybe unpack those 2 boxes of manga, put them in that shelf up there, and then maybe set up my synthesizer. Should probably do. But you know, I feel like if I can get it, if I can get to it, I can maybe set up my synthesizer. Okay. Trooper's gonna take some Adrena time and get back to work. Yeah, totally. I don't believe any of these other things are only gonna take an hour. I mean, making the chicken adobo. You know. Okay. Question, everyone. Have you ever had this experience? Because I have. Do you know when you see a recipe and the recipe says this recipe will take 20 minutes? It's like 10 minutes of prep time and 20 minutes of cooking. And you're like, okay. And then it takes an hour, because I feel like their idea of how long prep time takes and my idea of how long prep time takes are not the same. Am I the only one who's had this experience? Because every time, like, some recipes like, oh, this will only take you like 20 minutes. It is never 20 minutes. It is always some exceptionally much longer version of that. And it's quite frustrating because, like, you're like, this will only take you like 15 minutes or whatever. And it's never. Like, and I do try. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, this would be great. Oh, hi. Oh, excuse me for a moment. Excuse me. I just would like to... I would like to shoot all these things, and I would like to kill them. Excuse me. You know what? This is not making me happy. This is not making me happy. Let's do this. We're gonna shoot this person in the head a whole bunch. We're gonna shoot a bunch of people all over the place. Also, we're gonna give ourselves medical treatment, and it may or may not be Adrena time. It probably is not. But we're also gonna just open up a bunch of this. Excuse me for a moment. There's gonna be a lot of shooting. Also, I'm a little bit concerned that these people are not dying. I feel like maybe they will just never die. And I don't like this idea at all. Why is this person not dead? Also, why did they have so much health? Did anybody else notice that they had like more health than anything, like... Anyone? We're going to loot right now. I'm gonna check chat while we... I feel like we've had a very productive and also had a lot of conversations I'm very excited about in chat, which I'm very like success. No, I'm good. No food. No, food is not optional. If I'm on, when I'm really on it, when I get like the time to do what I need to do, I'll eat like 3 times a day, four times a day, right? Usually, I try to get like 3 main meals and like 1 sort of like snack in there. I was gonna ask, is it the Filipino style? Filipino style, actually. 15-minute recipes take 60 to 75 minutes. It's really irritating. Setting manga on shelves takes a long time. First you set them in rows, read a few pages. Well, my goal right now when it comes to sort of putting books on shelves is that just to put them there, but not organize them yet. Only not alphabetize them, not organize them. Just put them up there, and so then I can, once they're all up there, then I can organize them afterwards. Is basically my thought. Like I can alphabetize them afterwards. And I'm gonna just do this. We're gonna do a little bit of this. Just a little bit of mechanical drone murder. Excuse me for one moment. I've got somebody who's chasing me who's going to try to murder me. And right here. Excuse me. And since they're right here, I'm going to shoot them. Why does this person have so much health? Excuse me for a moment. Oh gosh, excuse me for a moment. That's, all bad. We're gonna do this. I also feel like there's really interesting things to say to you all. And I should be using my pistol because my pistol is badass. Just a side note. Also, let me, I hope everybody's okay. I feel like people are not okay, and, some people are down. We don't like that at all. We're, wrong gun, excuse me. We're gonna do like a spray of bullets. Excuse me, I have to reload. Great, cool, awesome. Is everybody down? Everybody's down but me. Cool. Awesome. Let's do this. We're gonna do some of this. You know, when I go into bullet time, I should probably use my pistol. You know what I mean? Excuse me for one moment. Just a little bit of this. Yeah. Okay. Great. Hey, friends. Are you okay? Oh, hey! Did you see that? When they sat up, they shook their head like they were clearing their mind of cobwebs. I'd never seen that before, and that animation is adorable, and I love it. And that. Also, I feel like I should be shooting these barrels for like massive damage. Those are my favorites. That said, I'm going to what you all saying in chat. Forgive me for taking a little brief pause as I was freaking out about being shot at a lot. But I am being shot at, so let's see what I have to say. I'm just doing like a really quick scan for looting purposes, because I wouldn't want to miss anything like this stuff. Prep time. I'll stop the world. Roller 300. I love that song. Do you know that I love that song? I'll Melt With You by Cutting Crew? No, Cutting Crew is I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight. Modern English. I believe I'll Melt With You is Modern English. Yes. I'll stop the world. I'll melt with you. There's nothing you and I won't do. I see the difference and it's getting better all the time. There's nothing you and I won't do. That's how it goes. Yeah. I'll stop the world. Modern English. Somebody confirm or deny. I feel like I am correct, but I am probably wrong. I could be. It's possible. It may not be modern, but I feel like. Let's see. Prep time usually means you've already measured everything and have it all laid out in 20 small bowls, because we all have those, and really just includes cutting things up. But I also feel like prep time is probably based on what how fast a professional chef would cut things, because I just do not cut things as fast as they seem to imply I should be cutting things. I am not as, like, you've seen people and they're like, oh, let me just cut the things. They're just like, and they cut all of those things, and all of a sudden everything is cut, and like...
You ready? Because I've been ready since she messed with us at the OCI. Feels like we're in a surgical coffin, if I'm being honest.
You okay? Okay. That's fine. I mean, ADHD prep time often leads to 45 minutes of wandering around and trying to remember things. I tend to... Once I start, I'm pretty good. Because I have, like, almost no distractions in the kitchen. I'm usually... By the way, I am not wanting to murder her. Right? For the record, I'm not wanting to do any murder here. I'm wanting to have a conversation with her. Right? I just hope that we have had this conversation, that we know that that's what's happening here, right? We're going to have a conversation, and we're not going to murder anyone.
Think she's in there? I'm ready to end this.
No, I want to have a conversation. Like, I'm not mad that she was sabotaging us. Like, I realized it was sort of irritating. Like, sabotage can be an irritating thing. Like, I get it. But, like, she doesn't want Adrematine to be rebuilt because it is whack. Because they put people into, like, cubes. They turn them, like, they put them through trash compactors and turned them into cubes. It was a bad deal. So, no. Yeah, anyway, I just really feel like their idea of prep time is for, like, chefs who can, like, chop an onion and eat in, like, less than 5 seconds, and I cannot chop an onion in less than 5 seconds. No, that is... Let's see. Rissa says, it usually takes me longer because they aren't counting the time it takes you to cut things up. The time is professional chefs. Yeah, really... Yeah. Just melt them. I think so. You know, is you killing the healing drones... You know, are you like killing the drones? It might help. I did kill them. They... Oh. Jer, I just see what you were saying here. You were telling me that those healing drones were healing those people, which is why it's hard to kill them. Yes. Yes, I see you. I see what you're saying. I smell what you're spraying. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I get you. I get you. What is this? Augmented reinforcement. I don't know what that is, but it looks kind of exciting. Maybe I will use it at some point. Iceman is cooking tomorrow. Yeah, you know, things. I actually have a couple things I need to cook. Well, don't need to, but would like to cook. Like, I really would like to make some cookies. I would like to make some granola, and I need to make this chicken adobo. The only thing is, I don't tend to cook multiple things all at the same time because that's just a lot of cooking, and that's too much. I try to stagger. I really do not want to kill her. You see what I'm saying to you right now? I do not want to kill her in any way. I would like to have this be friendly and not bad. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't want to get into a fight with her. Like, I certainly do not want to side with the daughter over the mother, right? That is a thing that I really, really do not want to do. So I just, does this look like a trap to you? I just want to have a chat.
I'll give you one thing, little weasel.
No, I just want to talk to you.
You are relentless. I did everything in my power
I just want to
stop
talk.
you, yet here you stand before me, offensively alive. Just so we're clear, if you intend to restart this machine, you'll have to go through me. Yeah,
right. I don't want to fight you at all. I just want to talk to chat and then also make peace. Like, this is really where I'm at right now. So, Emma Gift says, sounds like you'll get an HR email about anger issues being noticed by your colleagues. Versus, I will probably throw something in the crock pot tomorrow while we play Road to Rillia. Oh, yeah, nice. I don't have a crock pot. Although the Instapot can function as a crock pot, but I hear it's not as good as a crock pot. Valtiel says, idea, a recipe website where you can set your cooking skill level on a sliding scale from Gordon Ramsay to Cup Ramen and change the explanations per time accordingly. That would be really cool. Or like, you know that website, How Long to Beat? Something like that, but with recipes. Now, I will note, I always, just for the record, just so you know, I always check How Long to Beat before I start any game on the Foxhole video game. I was like, oh, How Long to Beat says this will take 3 hours. Good to know. it doesn't usually take us 3 hours. Tanky suits, resistances, armor. It's Master Chief. Modern English. Yes, modern English. It's in Eureka. Oh, I didn't know that. But how would it be in an Elizabethan English, Volpes? Hold on, let me think. I shall stop the world and melt with thee and thou, if I remember correctly, is the informal, and you is the formal. If I remember correctly, thee and thou are for informal. So, I shall stop the world and melt with thee. I see the difference, and it doth improveth all the time. There is naught that thee and I cannot do. I shall stop the world and melt with thee. Doesn't rhyme, but it's fine. Greetings, Hawkeye. I cut things very slowly because I need to keep my fingers for typing things to chat and do my work. Absolutely. Valtiel says, I feel like if I tried chopping veggies at pro chef speed, I would have several fewer fingers. Yes. And do not forget the Teflon fingers of pro chef. Yes. Eat before you talk to her. Conversation. I don't want to. No bullets. I should probably be chatting with her right now. Let's just say, by the way, hold on, make peace.
You think that will fool me?
No, seriously.
I'll die before I let you have.
No, I really do not want to fight with you. Also, prep times assume you have a lot of space for everything. I spend a lot of time in the kitchen going, okay, Dan, where to put this? Oh, that too. Like, I try to, like, and that's one of the reasons why I don't cook 2 meals at the same time. Like, a lot of those things I cannot do. The Instant Pot has helped because I can put stuff in the Instant Pot and then I still have space. But, like, I don't have, like, massive space. I cannot do all sorts of things at the same time like this. Recipes of old that mention vermouth or wine means the stuff is for the chef. You made a homemade batch of chicken tenders last night. Ooh, that sounds good. Yeah, I always make things that last me for a week because I don't have time. Like tonight, Saturdays I have my Saturday evenings I don't stream, so I have Saturday evenings to do stuff. I also have currently, like Saturday evenings is when I have to do stuff, so I try to do my cooking then. I should have fed, but he still was fine. He was fine. Oh gosh, I have so much dishes to watch right now. Hi, other Doc, I love you. I was surprised that last night's game only took 5 hours. Well, I feel like once you've played it once, I bet it'll go faster the next time around. Foxhole, the time to beat is 2 years fish. 10 times the regular time to beat. Your habit of checking how long to beat really makes me doubt the veracity of how long to beat. Yeah. How long to beat Otherworlds because we're on 180 hours now? Oh, somebody should check. What does the fox say? Stop thy land. Stop thy land. You must not acquire it. Well, but Trooper keeps trying to play good society when he's playing Star Frontiers. Less talking, more shooting. Yeah. Only because they only did 1 scene per location and skipped a full location. That is also true. But look, once we figured out, like, then yeah. But I would like to do it as a multi episode. I'd like to do it as a short shot, like a 4-shot maybe. Like, I feel like doing the zone as a 4-shot would be really, where you could do like multiple scenes per location. You could even, maybe we'll do like 6, like a 6-shot. That would be, I'm just going to note it. I've successfully avoided ever hearing more than Baby Shark of that song, so I make my saving throw. It says completionist is 38 hours. Oh, 38 hours for the Outer Worlds? No, that can't be right. Minnie wants to work with you on a cure for the Marauder.
That's preposterous. Not too long ago, she wanted me dead.
Yeah, but
How do I know this isn't a trick to get me out of the way?
Well, I'm going to use my persuade. You don't. You just have to trust me.
I will not. Your intentions are beside the point. I've been working on a cure for 5 years, and I've made no progress at all.
Maybe you need to work with your daughter.
If she believes teamwork is all I've been missing, she's more soft-headed than I thought.
She said you were invited for...
What? That
Yeah.
was our secret phrase. Did she tell you?
No. No?
Clever girl. when I'd been on Gorgon too long. That's what she'd write at the end of her messages. It meant she missed me. That she wanted me to come home.
Is our audio good, by the way? Paul? I don't... So, you'll work with Minnie?
I'll try. It's no guarantee of success. And like as not, we'll develop nothing useful at all. But it will be better than working alone. Thank you, Captain. In the end, you were not at all what I expected.
Hey, guess what? We
Name
did it.
game.
Also, I heard it. The name game. Come on, everybody. I say, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F, or an M will appear. And then I say bo at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fat, and fo. Then I say the name again with an F, very plain, and a fee, fi, and a mo. Then I say the name again with an M this time, and there is another name that I can't rhyme. But if the first two letters are ever the same, I drop them both, then say the name. I like Bob. Bob drop the B's, Bo, or Fred. Fred drop the F's, Fo, Red, or Mary. Mary drop the M's, Mo, Airy. That's the only rule that is contrary. Be right, be right, be right, bo, e right, banana, fana, fo, fee right, fee, fi, mo, me right, ta. Be right. The name game. Thank you, Be Right. Hey, how are you? And also say hey to Beep Little Flute for me. Well, it seems the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything is, for how long has Be Right been back? 7 days, 7 hours, 7 years. Yeah. Twitch is no longer. Why is Twitch no longer sending you my notifications? I do not understand. I don't understand. In fairness, about 100 hours of this game has been talking to chat. I feel like it's been less than that, maybe. Walk the dogs. Also, Max, thank you for leaving the stream running, Max. Also, you should tell us what kind of dogs you have. When you figure with stopping to talk, it gets about an hour and a half of play each week. So, I mean, I've done well over 100 hours, right? I think the zone would work well. I think the zone would work really well as a multi-shot. I'm really excited about, like, coming back to the zone. I also kickstarted it because I was very excited by it. Make sure the bell is checked next to the follow button. Even then, Twitch isn't very consistent. Oh, that could be, yeah. Just when you least expect it, talking works. Yeah, so let me see. And now I have the theme from 7 days in my head. I've got a bunch of there's a bunch of 7 days things in my mind at the moment. I've been going through and repacking boxes, found the D6, my virtual D6 dice. Oh. By the way, now we need to eat food, but I don't think we need at the moment. Also, we need to figure out where we're going to meet these folks. Where are we meeting? Where do we meet? Where do we meet? We apparently are going to meet you. Where? I don't know where that is. That's unclear to me. Well, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Also, I feel like this machine should be shut down, right? Like, I kind of feel like we should maybe shut down that machine because it seems like a bad machine and that we shouldn't have it. Those are my feelings. Also, I am going to have Jezza eat some food. Right. Oops, sorry. That was not what I meant. That was not what I meant to do. Right now, we're going to food. Just go and have some salt tuna. There's a whole bunch of it right here. It's good for you. It's healthy. It's full of probably bad thing. So, yes. Okay, now, actually, no. The zone looked really interesting, and I liked that the safety tools were built in. I also liked how they talked about safety tools. I thought that they talked about them in a very encouraging way. in a way that will like encourage their use. Like, and I like that they also use more than one, because personally, I actually think it's important to use more than one safety tool. I think the X card is fine, but the X card as written requires the person who's feeling upset to use it, and so I like there to be other tools. Like I like lines and veils a lot, and lines, veils, invitations, heads ups. I like okay check-ins. I like that. Like, so I like when I'm running, I always have those three: the X card there, okay check-ins, and also lines and veils. And in my experience, people have rarely ever. And I also don't just use the X card. I use like the green, yellow, and red. So I use multiple cards so that people can throw a card when they're like feeling good about their life as well, when they think something's going well, which is also in some ways what those hearts are doing, which also, by the way, I bet can fast travel to wherever we need to go, which we can, and we're gonna just fast travel to our ship. We are finishing Gorgon today. I really like, yeah, so I like to have multiple safety tools in effect. I really like that they use the PG versus R rating. There's like just a bunch of stuff that they've used, and I really like how they interpret it. I like that they talked about like people are more important than a game. I like how they talked about this is like a way for us to get to really good horror. I like the way in which they really made a really good argument for using safety tools in a way that is not about limiting people, but about opening up space to like do really cool things. And you could not see our chat because we have a Zoom chat, and in the Zoom chat we were throwing O's at each other, being like, "Hey, how's that doing?" And like when I got murdered by Brandy's character, I threw in an O exclamation mark in the chat to let everybody know that I was feeling totally fine about being murdered. I was happy as a clam, and so that nobody like had to worry, because I know that like if a player's going to go and murder somebody, then I'd be like, oh, I'm a little bit worried that maybe let's go to that Ambrose Manor. Like I'm worried that maybe like I'll be like I don't want to upset Trooper. I'm like no, hey, I'm good. So like we did a great job, and we also checked in with each other like, hey, is it okay if I do like radiation? And so like we were just making sure that we did things that didn't make that made us feel good about the horror, and I always feel like that's like the best manifestation of a safety is in that space, and I really like the way that they incorporate. I'm sure you recall, but Douglas Adams posed the ultimate answer is 42, but never revealed the question. That is, well, currently Jezza has to finish turning in this Gorgon situation, and I assume that when we get there, all the good things in the world will happen to us, and we'll turn it in, and life will be great. And then we will actually move on to the second, because there are two DLCs. The first one was Gorgon, and the second one is like Danger on Dangerland, or there's a second one, and I think we'll probably be able to start that second one, which okay, okay, sure, great. Finishing Gorgon, 12-hour stream. Here we go. No, like Drummer Boy. Pum. Almost done. And also, Drummer Boy, I don't think you know that I got myself a reproduction mode synthesizer, and I have not set it up yet, but I'm going to, and I'm very excited. Modular synth analog. Yeah, they presented safety tools in a very collaborative way too. Yeah, I really liked how they did that. I thought it was really smart. I do tend to use the stoplight cards in the same way as an OK check. Yeah, me too. Like I like the stoplight cards as I like things that are not just reactive but proactive. I like things that do not require the player who might be in distress to be the only person to say something. I like tools that allow you to say that you're happy with things and keep going. So like I generally want tools that allow people to be encouraging, as like I basically want tools that encourage you to use them so that they become normalized, right? I really like that, and I really like the idea of like I just think there are a lot of ways. I think that some people feel nervous about using safety tools, and I think that there are ways to present them better so that they are more regularly used. And I think that part of it has to do with removing stigma. I feel like I feel like some people feel like they shouldn't use them because if they use them, they're screwing up the game and they don't want to be trouble or a problem. I think there's a way in which some people have stigmatized the use of safety tools as something that's bad, like something bad has happened. And so that's why I really encourage the use of like the green one, the green card, or the okay yes, just to say like, hey, that was really great. I'm loving it. Just in the same that little heart emote is there too, right? And I also some people frame the yellow card as basically just still a red card. Like yellow card means I'm not happy. This is really terrible. This is like shut it down. Basically, they use it as basically just still a red card. Like it's a problem. We have to bail this, right? As opposed to it's a problem. We have to shut it down completely. But those are both feel the same way, and that seems for me to create a binary of like everything is great or now things are a problem. So I always use that yellow card as hey, where we are now is fine, but let us not escalate. Because I feel like that will take us a little bit of a stigma off and make it a little bit easier. That framing might make it a little bit easier for people to throw a yellow if they're like, oh, hey, this is fine. Like, but let's just kind of pump the brakes, keep where we're at, like not accelerate. And I feel like that might just like take when people are feeling nervous, right, or a little bit too nervous to say anything. I feel like that might help. It wasn't a hey, if you have an issue, feel free to stop the game. It was a focus on being able to create a better experience if everyone's having fun and things. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I would love to see Kazum build in some safety tools for the next edition of COC. Oh yeah, and the thing is, I think even if you don't have safety tools in that way, although I feel like you just definitely could, especially since Chaosm I have them behind my screen. Chaosm has bunches of decks, like keeper decks, like with cards and creatures. Like you could just have a deck that also has like really cool looking safety cards in there. You know what I mean? Like that would be neat. Isn't yellow caution? So like you said, don't escalate. Well, that's not how everybody uses it. That's how I use it. I use yellow for caution, but most people don't. Most people use the N, which is like the N, for there's a problem, veil this, as opposed to there's a problem, exit. So they use it like they use it as an analog of line veil. So like the line is the X or the red, and the veil is the N or the yellow. But for me, I like to just pull back a little bit. I like to make it a caution. So I like to make it like a hey, not a big deal, but let's like right. So I just feel like that makes it a little bit more easy to use if somebody is feels guilty. Like I feel like somebody might not feel comfortable using a red because they might feel too guilty, but if you frame the yellow in the right way, I think they might be more encouraged to use it as a caution rather than like a that yells accelerate faster before the light turns red. There. Yeah, no, it really isn't. If you go and you look at the original safety tools, that is not how they describe it. And actually, that's one of the reasons why I very specifically and deliberately always explain how I use yellow, because the safety tools created by those folks don't describe. First off, they don't use red, yellow, green at all. They just use X, N, and O, and their description of the N is not what I would use. DSP said, I really liked that the zone opened with what is everyone excited to see. Me too, that was so good. And what are some of your favorite horror tropes? Also really good, because that allowed for a positive opening safety tools. Absolutely. Artie's like, I thought that was introduces. No, it isn't. Which is, yeah, because when I saw how they originally used it, I was like, By the way, we are going to finish this today. I'm looking up for something though. This is what I'm looking for. So if you go to let me see if I can find it. What I'm looking for. Here, I'm looking for. Give me a second. Okay. Okay, so. Okay, so here's the difference, right? Thank you, Rissa. Rissa says, I would also like to see more games talk about what a session 0 is, which I think could help make sure everyone knows what they should expect. Yes. A lot of people don't know what a session 0 is, and I always struggle with that because I want to I think streaming a session 0 can be very instructive for educational purposes. But there are things I do in session 0 that I do not want streamed because they're for the safety of my players, right? I want my players to be able to talk about things that are very vulnerable without having that be streamed. You know what I mean? Like sometimes in a session 0, we talk about some very vulnerable things that people want or do not want on a stream, and that I don't want streamed, right? So we're going to be doing a session 0 for traveling. We're going to be doing a pre-session 0 offline, where we're going to talk about it. Like, there are certain things that I think are important to do for a stream in a session 0 that you just don't need to do online. Things like getting to know each other in certain ways, like just getting to know each other, like off stream, like who are you? Feel comfortable, get a vibe with each other, so we can build a sense of trust. I think that's really important. Like just like, hey, how you doing? Like a little bit of a hangout. Like it's the non-stream portion of and what I can do though is I can talk about what I do in that session, in the non-stream session 0, in the stream session 0. But like I want people to like normalize what we're doing, so we get to know each other a little bit. I no longer have to do this in my session 0s because I have found some tricks and tips. Usually in session 0, it's also usually a tech stream where you set up all the overlays, you make sure all the cameras are set up. I can do that now without having the players there, so that saves me a lot of time. Because I've got new things, and making like basically doing all the tech stuff, which is really not fun for the viewers to see. Like doing tech, getting people to know each other, getting a vibe, then talking about like vulnerable things that people may or may not want. There's like some like basic logistics that you take care of. And then, of course, there's like the rest of the session 0 stuff that I think you can stream. And I think there's probably a way to sort of recap what we did in the offline session 0 for educational purposes in the actual session 0. But there are people who stream their session 0s, and that like all of it, like including the vulnerable parts or the trying things out parts that like I'm like, that's just me though. Yes. I had some friends in AA, and they said the facility was trying to explain warning signs and asked, what do you do when you see the yellow light? People were like, floor it. Yeah. Jared says, I've seen a lot more games bring up session 0s in the rulebooks. Absolutely, me too. And I think that's good. Because here's the thing, though. The other thing I would say, by the way, is that session 0s, we used to do session 0s back in the day. We just didn't call them that. Especially in games like D&D, where you have to kind of coordinate your party composition, and when you'd roll up your characters. So like there's like a kind of like roll up your characters, talking about who's going to play what, that is session 0. And we used to do that, but people didn't talk about it that way. Am I able to tell you who the cast will be yet? I know who the cast is. They've all confirmed. You just reminded me. Thank you. I need to ask the cast for headshots. Ask for headshots. That's the thing I've got to do today before I do my synthesizer. I've got to go and set up. I've got to do a little bit of stuff for the Traveler game. I want to ask for their headshots, and if I can get their headshots from them kind of quickly, I may not announce here, but announcements will be coming there. I will tell you this. It's a cool cast, everybody. It's a cool cast. You're going to like it. Yeah, that's why I like breaking session 0 into 2 parts, says Otherdoc. 0.0 and 0.5 effectively. Absolutely. And take care of the safety and the tech in the off-stream session, and then do the world-building stuff in the on-stream one. And then you can talk about the safety. Like, it's not like you don't have to... Like, you can talk about it without going into it. You know what I mean? Like, so, yes. Jared's like, maybe you have a mock session 0 to demonstrate it where everyone's playing a persona rather than delving into their lines of hell. Yeah. Yes. Right? I think there's a way to do it so to keep everybody safe, but like... Because, look, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about what session 0s and what safety tools are like. So... I think it's important to like model that, and I like it where I have that ability. And you could have some of the players do things that maybe aren't great, followed by how they could do it differently, more positively. That I imagine would be I would imagine that being like a whole different thing altogether, like a specially done situation, right? Like a fully hypothetical, probably what I would. Jared says, "Oh, my invite must have gotten lost in the mail." Share. Got stuff. I wanted to read this to you before we finish this. So if you go into Shiana Shaw and Lauren Bryant Monk's their safety tools, right? They give the reference guide to the safety tools. They tell you what they are, how to use them. all that stuff. But their description of X and an O, because I don't use red, yellow, green, they use X. So they say the X card can be used at any point if a participant is uncomfortable with the content happening in the game. When the X card is used by tapping the card or typing X in the chat, the group can change, rewind, or skip the content, which is sort of like a script change, right? So basically, right, boom, cut, go. The N card can be used at any point if a participant feels like they're headed towards an X. Sounds like we're talking about. When the N card is used by tapping the card or typing it in the chat, the group can change the content or have the scene fade to black, right? So the way that they describe the N card is not, oh, hey, let's not escalate. It is, oh, we need to fade to black now, right? So either way, both the X and the N are going to change or end the scene, right? So both of them do, basically one is a line, one is a veil, but both will result in the scene either fading to black or ending, and the content itself being changed. And that, for me, for people who are a little bit difficult with, who have a harder time with confrontation, things like that, I find that that's just two versions of almost the same thing, and I feel a little bit concerned about that. So I tend to not do that. I tend to go instead with let's just have this be, let's have that yellow card be not veiling, but like not escalating, because it's a very subtle shift. It's a very subtle difference. But I know people who would say, I don't want to use the X card because I don't want to ruin other people's fun, because it does feel like for them like they just stopped something. And other people who like rail against the X card because like, oh, you just stopped something. So I feel like for me, by framing that yellow card not as a, well, we're gonna have to veil this now, but more like, you just do it a little bit earlier. You don't do it like, you just do the end card. You do the yellow card earlier than you do the end card, and you just do it a little bit earlier, so we just know we're gonna stay, right? And so for me, that feels like something that if a person is a little bit nervous about using tools that way, they'll be more likely to throw a yellow when they know the yellow is not going to stop anything. So that tends to be why I reword the yellow to not mean we have to veil it because there's a problem.
All those years ago, what tipped you off that Gorgon was in trouble?
The volunteers. Not just the shocking way they died, but the company's muted response to it. They were expensive to house, train, and treat. That the company would spare no expense, yet let so many of them die. It was terrible.
Artie said, could do it more like these are the safety things we've decided on rather than discussion themselves. I wouldn't want to break somebody's confidence even in that way. So for me, for example, I will often, when I'm doing it, when I'm streaming it and we talk about safety tools, I will give an example of something that I might say. Right? I might say like, so for example, me, as the GM, I can just say something that is one of my lines and veils, and then I'm not exposing anybody else's stuff, because some people may not want to talk about, may not want what their line or veil is out loud, especially because if you see them more than one show, you might be like, oh, you're the one who's got a problem, or whatever the thing might be, right? So I like give an example for myself, but I think the idea of like a mock session 0 that is not connected to any game could be interesting, because I think you could show, there are a number of different things that I would show in a mock session 0 that might even surprise you, right? There are things that I would put in a mock session 0 that aren't even safety things, that would be really cool to see. There's certain process things. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put together a mock session 0 where we show a bunch of things that go into a session 0 that aren't even safety tools, yes, but also things that aren't safety tools, because there's some very cool things that would go into a session 0 that I think would be kind of, some of it is just about like how you change your mind about your character, just like little things like that. I think that could be very good, and I want to do it. And I'm going to put together a really great group of folks, and we're going to do it. When we're going to do it, I don't know, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. I've decided. Yes, we're going to do a mock session 0. Hey, you know what we're gonna do? Hey, I have an idea. I just thought about it. I just thought about it. I'm gonna have to start inviting people. Do you know what's happening really soon, by the way? My 6-year stream anniversary is coming up in November. And what if a mock session 0 is something that I do to give back to the community for my 6-year stream anniversary? That could be awesome. It also might be the topic of a video podcast to explain what the tech side looks like for those who are new to gaming. Yeah, I was thinking about actually adding tech as well. I was thinking about adding tech also to it. And I feel like there's a way, right now I'm thinking about how to do it live, how to show, I think there are ways to do it in ways that could be very, very cool. Or it might be an interest, I might be able to do like a blend of live and video to show like certain parts. So I'm actually kind of, I've got ideas in a way to show some stuff that could be basically for my stream anniversary gift back to the community. Let's see. Let's just I'm gonna let them talk.
I knew then I'd lost control of Gorgon. I'd lost control of Adrena time.
You never told me Gorgon was such a logistical nightmare. We should have had this conversation 5 years ago.
Jared, absolutely.
You can't know how badly I wanted to. But the truth put you in danger, and I couldn't abide that.
I owe you an apology, Captain. Not only did I deceive you, but all this time I had the wrong idea about Mother.
Yeah, I know. Drummer Boy says, I imagine Session Zero has become increasingly important and focused on due to randos and online play. Yes. Like, way back in the olden days, you'd play with your friends, presumably, so there's a pre-existing relationship. Not to say Session Zero wouldn't also help that situation, but just think about it. You know, Drummer Boy, I have a counterpoint. There was certainly a lot more vetting of players back in the day, and usually a form of pool of people you already knew, so already had a base of understanding players. But I will say, I'm going to tell you this, the worst treatment I ever had, the most traumatic experience I had in gaming, were back in the day, not now. And one of the reasons why is because I think that sometimes people would think, oh, we're all friends. They actually act worse to you. I mean, the worst treatment I've had, the most traumatic, the most awful things that I've experienced have been experienced with friends who we all knew each other, right? But there's a way in which sometimes people feel like, oh, because we're friends, we can do these really awful, terrible things, and we don't have to. And because we're friends, we never have to talk about it. I think the lack of talking about these things is a problem, even with your friends, especially because your line, like, this is a new thing that I'm really trying to develop and really trying to encourage when it comes. I actually have set up 2 lines and veils, like, because you have the lines and veils things, and actually I'll probably show what that looks like, what I do. I'm going to show a bunch of different things when we do this special thing. I now have 2 different lines and veils tables, one for permanent, that is, and then one for temporary. Because I really want people to think about lines and veils not so heavy. Like, they are heavy, but they're not that heavy. Like, I want people to realize that you may maybe not be up for talking about loss of like the loss of a pet right now, but you might be fine with it, generally speaking. You might be fine with it next week, but maybe just this 1 week stuff has happened, and this is something you just maybe might not want to have in the game today. But the way we do lines and veils is kind of like campaign-wide and super long. So I've been experimenting with ways to create a separate document where you can just put things on there for just that day that then get wipes out at the end of that session, so that you can be able to express like, oh, you know what, I'm actually generally fine with this, but like right now I'm kind of just not in for any PvP right now, and that could just be fine. Like, because I feel like that also opens up these idea of safety tools as being much more mellow in certain ways and not so dire. But like, sometimes you're just not up for a certain thing, and maybe you're just not up for any talk about parents today. Any other time is fine. And like, so I now have 2 tables, one that's sort of more campaign wide, one that is more campaign long, one is more temporary. And so I'm working on developing sort of different ways of formulating these safety tools so that we can, because there are a couple of things, I love them, but there are a couple of things that I think are not doing exactly what I want. And so I'm just working on how to develop them to get where I want. And I think a really good mock session 0, like Jared mentions, would be really good. Yeah. And so I will just say, I'm just saying. And also, even back in the day, there was still convention play. Like you'd go to Gen Con or wherever, and you'd play with randos at stores or in conventions. And so like we really could have used them back in the day as well. The yellow card is more of a lighter red card than the actual yellow red card. Yeah, that's what Artie says, and I really want to make sure that they're different cards. Character balance, story focus, what you want out of this campaign, all sessions are so. Yeah, character balance, story focus, what you want out of this campaign, what the expectations are, how deadly is it going to be, trying out your character, seeing what you feel, like seeing if you want to change things. Like there's a bunch of stuff that would go into a really good session. I'm still talking to this woman. No, this is a new woman. This is a whole different situation. Different situation, Max. General world information, tone, genre of the campaign as well. Yeah, actually, I think I probably will do something quite. Yeah, I'm going to do a whole thing. I'm going to actually create something. I'm going to create something. I think it'll be something that I can do to help for the community. I had a BRP game without a session 0, as I wanted the players to know nothing about what was going on until we started. But the thing is, you can still do a session 0 without giving them world information. Also, you can give them session 0 that. Here's the thing. And there's also another thing to say about session 0s that I think is actually quite important, which I would also include in this thing, which is going to have to be probably a hybrid of live and MRF. Is I always do a campaign. I do a show Bible or a campaign pitch. It's usually a combination of both. And the thing is, I think if you don't want anyone to know about the world at all, or if you're going to have a twist, I think for me, I always get buy-in. I would never say to players, hey, I'm going to run a campaign. I'm not going to tell you anything about it, including the system. Well, actually, I wouldn't just be like, hey, we're going to play on Monday, and they don't know what's going on. I might say, hey, I would like to run a game where you do not know the system or anything about it. Are you okay with that? Like, I would always ask and that actually would be part of a session 0, right? To sort of get buy-in about what kind of things, parameters, right? Because I'm sure it's going to be like, okay, yeah, but I don't want to do these things, right? Like, I want to be able to make sure that I get players who are going to enjoy that game and who will enjoy. And first of all, I actually would only invite players who would enjoy playing a game where they know nothing about it. Like, and that's part of like the pitch process. Like, before the session 0, there's the pitch. This is really important. Before, like casting, pitch. It's really important. I think there's things that have to happen even before you get to a session 0. Make sure everyone's going to have a good time. And I think that's really. What do you think right now? I think that's really important.
Less than perfect, but
really important.
More than a monster. Somewhere in the middle, I suppose. We still have a great deal of work ahead of us. The years of silence were not easy.
I don't doubt it was hard on you, but I knew you'd come out the stronger for it. We have the chance to know each other now, thanks entirely to you.
Oh. Communication is key, says Rissa, even with your friends, because long association and community were making assumptions about what is okay. And also, what is okay for you may not be the same every day, right? Max says, I never want loss of a pet in a tabletop RPG personally, at least not my pet. Right, but some people are totally fine with it. But they may not be fine with it for this 1 week, right? Some people are totally fine with that, right? You know what I mean? And also, this is also important for a session 0. I need to know if you're like, if I'm playing a gritty, deadly game where anybody can die, and you're like, I want to have a pet, but I want that pet to have plot immunity, I need to know that, right? Like, that is a thing I'm going to need to know as a GM, because if I'm playing in a realistic simulationist game where you have a horse and it's like some medieval, like, bad guys might target your horse. But if I know that you cannot handle that, I need to know so that I can adjust the game. Or if it's a game where people's pets might be murdered is actually very central to the game itself, that you would not be the person I would invite to that game, right? Like, it's about matching things. Like, if it's a game where like your horse getting hit or not hit is not that important, you know what I mean? Like, sure, we'll put that in lines and veils. You're in. We're all good. If animals getting injured is actually quite important to the game itself, because maybe we're playing a campaign where everybody's an animal vet or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And I know that a person that is a thing that they cannot handle, they will be asked to the next campaign for that. Either if it's a fixed group where it's all the same players, then we just won't run that campaign. Like our Dr. Quinn, that woman campaign will just not happen with this group at all if the group itself is fixed. If it's not a fixed group and I'm sort of pulling in specific players for specific campaigns, then I just don't bring in the person that cannot. And I know a lot of people that cannot handle any injury to animals, and so they won't be in the Dr. Quinn medicine vet campaign. Like all creatures great and small campaign, right? They'd be in a different one. So it's important to know so you can match the campaign with the players and vice versa, you know? Embargoing! 15 minutes, thank you. Yeah, I played a halfling bard at a convention, played a lute, another guy played a female halfling, smashed it. After the game, found out his character was supposed to have a crush on my character. Why would she do that? To be funny? It wasn't. Right, like, yeah. Technically, the BRP game was everybody gets drunk, let's play. The twist was it was the beginning of the zombie apocalypse. You know, and some people don't know this, right? So it's important. Like for me, there are certain things that I want to do even before we get to session 0 to make sure we're going to have the most. Like I picked those four. I picked Myth, Jackie Dash, and the Brandy Rose very specifically and on purpose for the zone last night. I was like, these people I think will be a good. They will match well with each other, and like that was important. They knew the system. We made the characters the first thing to play. Yeah. Yeah. I usually have a couple session 0s. First, go through expectations, line veils, and maybe even build characters that they want to do as a group. Second session 0 is a one-shot in the setting with their characters that doesn't relate to the campaign. I'll usually call this session the OVA or the pilot. All creatures great and small, the RPG. Embargo says, if a player can't handle mice getting injured, Mouse Guard is probably not the campaign for them. And and I will just note, that's not even I'm not mad at that, right? Like, how do you plan on mending relations from here? Folks in the research, a job to do. Mending relations.
On Minnie's terms, whatever they may be. I've made enough decisions for her, I think.
Oh.
Well, there's no need to dwell on the past anymore. We're in the thick of it together, now that we're partners.
Partners? Huh. I suppose we are.
And family, I suppose. This isn't at all playing out the way I imagined it. And for the first time, I'm glad.
I have a point about animal injury that's important. You two have grown a lot in a short time.
Part of me will always miss the cold, vindictive Minnie Ambrose. Life was so much simpler when I felt cheated by it.
I like your best.
I'm glad to have you as my daughter, Minnie. But I'm proud to call you my partner. But I fear things will only get harder from here.
I've got some science. Test, measure, revise. Nothing gets done right the first time.
Indeed. The road to a cure will be long and fraught with setbacks.
I like this.
We will need to find our strength in the work and our partnership if we're to overcome them.
You've earned this, Captain.
Ooh.
For recovering Mother's journal, for getting us talking in the same room together, and for exceeding my expectations.
Thanks.
Indeed. I have no use for bits and baubles on Gorgon. Not now that I have my work. Take what's yours, Captain. The road to a Marauder cure will be a long one, and the board will surely fight us every step of the way. But this partnership, it's a damn good start.
Will you put the burden of the colony aside for just one moment? Give me a day with my mother before we get back to work.
Yeah.
For you, I will try.
I'm happy with this. I feel very good about this moment. I also feel like we have been chatting, all of us, so I need to eat more food. That's apparently a thing. Being in a conversation does not stop the rock.
It's finally over. I'm free.
Y'all.
The Marauder problem won't go away overnight, but I'm confident we'll arrive at a solution.
We finished Gorgon. It's only been 2 weeks since we started playing this DLC. That's a lie, but we did it, and we brought the family together. I feel very good about that. And also, we've been having some very good conversations. Look, here's what I'm planning. I'm going to look at chat. What I'm planning right now is that we're going to get back into the ship. We are going to chat with all of our crew, because they may have things to tell us. And then, it's like, what, 4:15? 3:15? I feel like probably after we chat with the crew, we will quit the game there. And then the next thing we'll do is we'll do the next DLC, which again will take us about 2 weeks. Because look, we just have the one more DLC. Are you okay? Can I help you? No? Okay, cannot help you. Sorry about that, Drinks. So sorry about your sadness. Um, yeah, that's that. Yeah. Mm. And let's get into the ship. And I feel like, I imagine our crew will want to tell us things. We're just gonna do like a walkabout of the ship and just see what they have to tell us, because they might want to tell us. And then we'll end, and then I will do my bike ride, come back, shave my head. What if I dye my beard? No. If I dye my beard? No. What if I dye my... No. No. Maybe. I'll just think about how I feel when I get back from the... We'll see. Let's see. Or if you make it like Phobos in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, no matter what happens, it does die or get injured, but it shows up the next time you call for it. DSP says, sometimes people are really good at and really enjoy RPing ridiculousness that they have experienced, such as a character who just doesn't listen to anyone else and is very narrow-minded. But having a run-in with someone like that in real life might make you not want to play it in your game that week, and that's important to be able to say no. Yes. Yes. Like, I want us to be able to have temporary moment, right? I think that's just important.
Watch your step, Captain. The floor is wet. Sam recently mopped in here.
Thank you, Ada. We're just going to see if our crew has anything to say, and we're not going to ask them these questions while we have a gun out, because that seems... I don't want to, you know...
Would you like a reminder on when your next shower is scheduled?
No. No. Hey, look at how cool our crew quarters are. That's awesome. But we are going to go and talk to our people. This is what we're going to do. Also, what's next on Jess's to-do list is the second. We have a second DLC to do, like Murder on Eridos, I think it's called. So we just finished Oregon. We have one more DLC, which is Murder. I think it's called Murder on Eridos, something like that. And once we finish it, we can. Once we finish it, then we actually go into endgame, because I'm pretty sure we are at the endgame for, like, I don't think we have, you know, like all BioWare games have that moment in the game where they're like, okay, everybody, if you have anything else to do it before you go here, because once you go here, there's no going back, and we are in that moment in the game. So I just want to make sure we get our DLC done, and I think we have one last mission to turn in, I think. That we do that, and then we go into endgame, and then we are done.
Something on your mind?
Apparently not. I don't actually think... We may not have any more chatting to do with people. Oh. Hey, that's new experience. Well, we'll just ask everybody if they have anything to say. I don't know why I look around like this with my physical body. That is not how it works, but cool.
Good to see you, boss.
Nope. Look, this will be a quick second. Hey, you okay?
Hey, Cap.
Nope. Apparently nothing there. So yeah, is anybody in the bathroom? Hey, where's my vicar? Mysterious. I don't know my vicar right now.
My dad, he told me, don't you let that boy push you around. So I hit him with a wrench, right? Ooh, Dad was mad.
Oh.
Guess he wanted me to use my words. Not that I ever been good with those. He grounded me for a week. You want to know a secret, Sam? It was worth it.
2 weeks equals 2 months at least. Comment. It's been 2 weeks if you mean...
Felix keeps asking me to watch some adventure serial with him. It's not my thing, but he's real sweet about it.
Break time's over. No comments for you.
Dust accumulation analysis. 2.5 years.
Oh, I will eat, but I have to eat after I get back. Dye your beard black and red, orange. I've got a pink. I think I do not currently have any blue, but I've got like a deeper pink, which I have not used yet. So I might go that way. We'll see. But I am going to take my bike ride and then cook food. It's a thing I'm going to do. Okay, so where's the vicar? Have you seen the vicar? I suppose we don't really need to talk to the vicar, but have not seen. Which, where did he go? I hope he's not like. I hope he's okay. Let's talk to Abe. Just checking.
Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance?
DSB says, no dye my beard, eyes on the prize of the synth. You're correct. You're correct. You're correct. Okay, so bike riding, pre bike ride drink, post bike ride like basically protein shake, etc., and then cooking some dinner and save, and then I'm gonna do I've got some grading to do, which today is Saturday and tomorrow is I've got my offline. I'm playing Call of Cthulhu from 3 till 8 p.m. and then I've got Witcher from 8 till midnight. So I'm gonna have to do class prep today for classes on Monday. So I don't have class on. I don't have to worry about that just yet. Yeah, so I'm gonna do like email. I've got like work to do, but I'm also going to go and work a little bit on Traveler and this other thing that I cannot tell you about. Just a little bit of that, and then set up my mic, and then of course I'll be making food, and then do some Traveler stuff, and then hopefully I can set up some. We'll see. Practice. Yeah, Drummer Boy. I got a reproduction. I think I told you. Maybe I didn't. I went and I got a reproduction Moog 55. So full modular synth. It's by Behringer. So it uses the Eurorack system, but modular analog synthesizer, reproduction old school, 38 modules. And I am so excited because I have not been able to compose on a Moog since I was an undergraduate, which was a long time ago. So I'm very excited. I'm so excited. Let's see. I miss our direct games. Really made sense of why people in a zombie move back so stupidly. The point of no return, says Artisec. That's where we're at. Protein shake sounds. Oh no, I actually really like protein shakes. I think they're delicious. And also, if I'm wanting to get my full amount of calories in for the day with my macros, I actually need to have a protein shake because I need to have like basically 3 full meals and a protein shake if I want to get all of my food in for the day, which is why I like during the school year I just don't eat 4 times a day. So I need to have like 3 full meals and a protein shake if I want to get all my and get all my protein. Yes, I play Call of Cthulhu once a month offline, and Rissa is my GM, and that is great, good times. So eat bicycle, dye the food, shave the beard. No, yes, no. So not enough hours in a day. Also, I just don't. I just get very busy. It is, we started in Seattle 1946, 47 is I believe when we started. And I am super hyped for travel. And I need to go and just send a message to my players, see if I can get some headshots from them, so that I can then start. I want to do like some hype, right? And I think it'll be really good. Cast hype. Ice Bunny, I don't find it sad because it tastes good to me. Like, I find them super tasty, and I like them. My favorite is Metarex. I love their vanilla, but I'm currently having a different one that's like a Rocky Road, super tasty. And then like I'll have that, and then I'll like have like chicken adobo, and I'll have like a great chicken sandwich, or like a roast beef sandwich, and then I'll have like some delicious breakfast like granola and milk or whatever. Like when I'm like it's just eating well just takes so much time. You have to cook all the time and then do dishes all the time. I hate that. Yeah. I eat things that taste good, and I actually find protein shakes to be quite tasty. Yeah. So, I love to eat too, but I also love to drink shakes. Do you remember the teasing Gianni got for his protein bars market? Oh, I do remember that. Oh yeah. Aki never thought that protein bars were like real food. He just had a very high metabolism because he was retrofitted to work on Mars, so he had to eat a lot. But also, don't think I'm not thinking about transhuman space. I'm thinking about transhuman space mostly now because I think about a lot of things I do for reasons that are beyond just I want to do it. And there's this resurgence of cyberpunk, but we seem to have forgotten about transhumanism as a genre, which happened after cyberpunk, so it's a little weird. So I feel like coming back to it is good. Yeah, Aki had an 18 in cooking. Cheat code for any synthesizer, by the way. Get yourself a cheap guitar reverb pedal. The Hall of Fame 2 Mini is pretty affordable and mega small footprint. This is, I'd have to sort of see about moving, because this is like a full 1960s old school, no keyboard sort of synthesizer. I need to get into a COC campaign sometime, only to help me creating for the CSU campaign I'm trying to write. Oh, it's a good system. It's a good system. Okay, so this is our stream. We finished Gorgon, everybody. That was amazing. And what are we gonna do? Let me see. What can you? I'm Trooper SJP, and you can find me here, Trooper SJP, on Twitch. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. will be Praxagora the Smophoria's Witcher Road's Home over on her channel. Monday at 8:30 p.m. you can find me over at Wandering DM's channel for Montreal by Night, a Vampire the Masquerade campaign. Wednesday morning there will be no Yes and Sky because Dot is camping. Thursday, The Long Dark. Maybe. Thursday I will be streaming. Will I be streaming The Long Dark? I don't know. It depends on Lindy because Lindy is coming back from her trip to Korea. And if she's back in time for Thursday, we may go back to Twice Reborn and find out what happens to our Mark Delaware. And then Friday, of course, will be the Foxhole Friday RPG. Coming up this Friday will be Showdown, which is will be it's a two-person RPG. Lindy and I will be playing together. And the way it works, I'm very fascinated. It's a duel. So there are two people who are rivals and they're going to have their final showdown where one of them is going to kill the other. And in this game, if you basically win your maneuver, like there's like basically if you win the thing, if you win, you kill the other person. If you lose, you say why the rivalry happened, right? Like what was it that brought it? So like basically either way, if you win, you do damage. If you lose, you detail the backstory, right? So there's this kind of really cool thing that I think should go on with that game, and I'm really excited for it. And that'll be Friday. And yeah, that's what we got going on. That's it. That's us. That's us for the moment. Also, in case you want to know, I'm already in talks for spring games, and that's pretty exciting. But I'm looking forward to doing some stuff. Remember, I want to set up my new mic, that's what I'm doing. So the loser can make the winner look really bad. Yes, Void Smoker. I'm really excited about it. So yeah, basically, if you win, you do physical damage. If you lose, you do emotional damage. That is exactly how that game works. And so I'm very excited. I will see you later, Max. Let me see. You can find me basically. Ooh, I have a really quick question that I asked, but I want to just double check. Last night on the Zone, I set it up so that Hawkeye's ad would play. We hit the break, and then after Hawkeye's ad played, we would go to the regular interstitial music. Did you hear Hawkeye's ad last night? Because I had it set so when I pressed the button, it should just have done it and automatically swapped. And I don't know if it did or not. I haven't checked the VOD. So if anybody was there and remembered, just let me know. If you did not recall it, like, did you have music at all? I'm going to check the VOD. But if you could just tell me, then I don't have to. Anyway, you can find me at Trooper SJP on YouTube. You can find me at Academic Foxhole on Twitter, and also Patreon. The Patreon goes to help support paying the cast and getting art and all of that kind of stuff. And we have a Discord. You can hang out with us there, and that will be lovely. So let's see. You don't think it happened. Riss is not sure. There was music, but I don't think the ad rolled. You don't remember hearing it. Okay, thanks. Because the point is, like, ideally we have one ad per week. So we have 3 weeks left. I'll work it out. I really I'm using this advanced scene switcher, and sometimes it works or sometimes it doesn't. So I'm still trying to work out the configurations to get it to go so that I can just press that button and it happens. So I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna double check it because I really wanted to run it today, but that's okay because you know what? It'll work well. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna have it. It's gonna happen. I'm just gonna double check. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna actually make it so that I monitor it as well. So it doesn't play all night. That'll make it easier for me. All right, I gotta go. I have got to get ready for my long bike ride so that I can continue on down the Hadrian's Wall. and then I have got to cook some food, and I've got to set up my mic, and I've got to do a little bit of class prep and email. I've got to do a lot of it, and then some traveler prep. Yes. All right. Take care, everybody. I will see you all later. You all are wonderful. I adore you all. We just finished Gorgon, and I'm very proud of ourselves. And I will catch you all on the flip side. Take care. And I never told you about Ginger Rogers and I never told you about Ginger Rogers and Rudy Valley and Melody and Gender. Remind me next time, everybody. Bye.